wrapped up in the backfield and goes down for a loss in a turnover on downs. Cliff Funderburg and Galen Brown crashing in from the ends to get there first, and the Falcons defense stands up. Smith's going to keep it on the read option, breaks the tackle. He's got some room to run now. Across the 40, the 35, the 30. 1 man to beat at the 20, the 15, breaks the tackle, the 10, touchdown. Falcons with Jalen Smith, a 50-yard touchdown run. Oh, and the ball gets popped out high in the air. It's still loose, and it's still bubbling around, and it's still on the ground.
We got it.
Finally, North Forney comes up with it. Looks like KC Cornelius with the fumble recovery.
Again, hands it off to Nemo. This time he's got room to run. He's at the 50, the 40, before he's finally brought down at about the 30-yard line. Big-time run there from Nemo.
Welcome to Citibank Stadium. Tonight's matchup between the North Forney Falcons and the Royse City Bulldogs. I'm Wally, joined alongside by Tim Danziger of the Forney Messenger, and we'll hear from our sideline reporter, our student sideline reporter, Ayanna Brown, here in a few moments as she catches up with Coach Jackson before the game. Tim, we've got a big matchup on our hands tonight. Two teams that a lot of people thought would be really good, thought would be kind of competing for the top of the district or in the playoffs. North Forney's a little bit behind that as they need to win out and get some help. Royse City just with one loss in district, actually just one loss in the season, and that being to Ennis. They're in the driver's seat for that second spot. So North Forney needs some help after winning this game tonight. But this game is going to be a big enough problem as it is because this Royse City team is a good one.
Well, I think we spent most of the season talking about this is a big game. Well, it kind of comes down to this, and this is a big game for North Forney. I mean, Royse City's already in the playoffs. Now it's just a matter of whether or not the Falcons can come through tonight, play like we think they can play, and then you're right, they need to get a little help out in Greenville. One of the few times that Falcon Nation is probably going to be pulling for the Jackrabbits, but that's kind of where we are. Is we need some help from Forney to beat Greenville to really give us even any chance, regardless of what happens on the field here.
It is senior night here as well, so that's what's going on right now is the senior festivities. So let's set the table a little bit, Tim, with the playoff scenario. And it's really pretty simple. First step is North Forney has to win out. That means they win tonight against a tough Royse City team, and then they also win next week against a lesser Sulphur Springs team, but on the road in Sulphur Springs. You have to win both those games to even start the conversation. A loss tonight or next week automatically eliminates you. You're done. With that, on top of that, Greenville does have to lose this week to Forney and lose next week to Ennis. We all assumed that Greenville game is going to be a loss to Ennis. We all assumed that a lot of things would be that would happen this year and that they haven't. And so that's no given. But they have to lose tonight and lose next week. So if Greenville wins tonight, no matter what North Forney does here, North Forney's eliminated. So I kind of wonder what the psyche is going into that game or going into this game. I mean, where the North Forney's head at? Are they saying, well, hey, the chances we're going to make it the playoffs are very slim. So what does it even matter? Or are they coming to this one saying, hey, we got a win on the table. We can go out and get against a good football team. We'll let the rest of that take care of itself. We got a football game to go out and win. I know that's what the coaches have said. That's what the players have all said. But, after you get kind of hit in the mouth a couple of times, how do you still feel that same way as you have all week?
Well, as you said, the coaches are going to say that we're going to take it one game at a time, nameless, faceless opponent, that we're just going to play who's in front of us. But on the other hand, I think you're right. I mean, you're talking about 16, 17-year-old kids that are out there, and they read, they can see what's going on. They know the standings. I think they also know the importance of this game. And let's be honest, regardless of what happens out in Greenville tonight, there's some pride on the line here. I think that when we looked at the schedule, we kind of circled this game and said, okay, this is going to make a difference for somebody somehow. It's a little bigger than I think we anticipated it being, but I think the boys, regardless of who's in front of them, they want to go out there and they want to win, especially tonight. For those seniors that are out there, this is the last time that they'll put on that North Forney uniform in Citibank Stadium.
And I do want to say that there is one more scenario where North Forney would get in, and that's if they do beat North Forney tonight and Royse City loses next week. I believe they're playing Terrell, and they would have to lose that game as well. And, again, that's kind of one of those we assume that Royse City's going to win that one with Terrell only having one game on the season and and Royse City only having lost one so far this season. So that is another scenario. So if North Forney does win tonight, they do, no matter what happens in Goonville, they do keep those hopes alive, whatever slim chances they are. Let's talk about last week's game at Terrell. Of course, it was sloppy conditions. It was rainy. It was, I say rainy. It was really misty, kind of an atmosphere of
just
precipitation.
A swirling, wet wave all night long.
That, and it was cold, and so it was kind of, we saw, I think it was 5 fumbles. I think 4 lost in that first quarter alone. From totaling from both teams. North Forney kind of took advantage of a couple of those and scored off of them. And that was really the main difference in the game. Acuna was 7 of 19, only 69 yards. Of course, that wasn't really the conditions to be throwing the ball in. And they really didn't want to throw the ball in that.
Well, and the thing there is that some of those passes were going off. He flat dropped a pass when he went back to throw it one time. It just slipped
right out of his hands.
Right out of his hands. He had balls that were going through the receiver's hands. It was cold. It was wet. The wind was swirling. So it wasn't for a lack of attempts. It was just they just weren't able to make those completions.
Well, and he still had 2 touchdowns and didn't throw an interception. I think that's important, because the game a couple of weeks ago against Coffin, he had 3 touchdowns, but he also threw 3 interceptions. Most of those weren't his fault, but they're turnovers nonetheless. And it's in a sloppy night, you would kind of expect some of those to happen, and they didn't. And I think that's a really good sign going into this one, because you're going to have to take care of the ball tonight. In the run game, of course, Ty Collins. Man, he's been so good all season long, and as he's gotten to kind of the lead role now with Soto out, 42 carries last week. They gave him the ball a lot. 42 out of the 53 carries went to Ty Collins for 231 yards, 2 touchdowns on a night where they knew that North Forney was going to run the ball as much as they could. And Ty Collins, I just found this out. You didn't even tell me, and I'm a little upset about this. I just found this out from the Royse City guys tonight that Ty Collins is number 5 in the area in 5A in terms of yards rushing.
Well, Wally, that's true, and I will apologize. However,
Okay.
that was the one thing that I was going to bring to the pregame show today.
Well,
and it was just kind of the rug was just pulled up from under me.
Well, I guess if you want to go ahead and head home, what else is left tonight?
Yeah, that's true. Hey, we got a game, Wally. We got a game.
And it's a big game, too. Receiving wise, like I said, not a whole lot happened. DeJuan Johnson led the team in catches with 3 catches for 26 yards. Cam Allen did have a touchdown on a couple of receptions. Same for Nick Boo. Colin Shipley actually threw a touchdown pass to Nick Boo on that opening possession, the play after they recovered the kickoff return of a fumble. They actually got outgained in total by Terrell. Terrell had 360 yards and 356 rushing. Now, they only did have 4 passing yards. I think that's the key going into tonight's game. One thing that we take away from not only last week's game, but the week before against Kaufman, the week before that against was it Greenville they played the week before that? Those teams scored on long. They just been able to run the ball, and especially around those edges. Again, Terrell was able to do that, and that's Terrell's offense is predicated on that little jet sweep, the wing tee. They're going to sweep those guys out and run the ball. D.D. George had over 200 yards rushing against North Forney, and I don't think Terrell's near as good of an offense as a whole, especially as Royse City is tonight. So it was a little bit concerning to still see the defense giving up those large rushing numbers, knowing that Terrell could not pass the ball. They don't really pass the ball anyways, but on a night like that, they really couldn't pass the ball, and they were still able to gain that much 356 yards rushing on the ground.
Yeah, in my article this week, I mentioned that and I think we talked about it as well, that it never felt like Terrell was really in the game, but it also never felt like they were out of the game until that final whistle blew. And I think that we have the Falcons defense has struggled with the run. A lot of it, as you said, has been when they get to the edge. And I don't know if that's just guys not holding their assignments. They're crashing down, and then they're not getting the backside. They're not getting the support. But as you look at Royse City with 3 ball carriers that are over 500 yards on the season, so where Ty Collins has 1,200 yards or 1,000, just over 1,000 yards, the Royse City ball carriers, they've got 1,500 plus between 3 of them, and that's going to be a challenge. They like to run the ball. They run the ball hard, and we're going to have to hold our position, hold our assignments, and absolutely we're going to have to tackle.
Well, let's talk a little bit more about that Royse City team when we come back right after this.
Sticky Ribs Barbecue is a family-owned business located in Forney, Texas. We have all of your favorite smoked meats complemented with homemade sides. Take a bite of our mouth-watering barbecue, slow smoked to perfection over Texas post oak on traditional barbecue pits. We offer full-service catering for any size event. Visit us at stickyribsbarbecue.com or on our Facebook page. That's Sticky with no C and Ribs with a Z. Contact us today and see what you've been missing. Sticky Ribs Barbecue. Get addicted. Your go-to for barbecue.
Hey Falcons fans, are you looking for a local streamlined real estate experience? I'm John O'Finkenbeiner with Exalt Realty, and in my 12 years in real estate, I have perfected the art of keeping the process of buying and selling simple and easy. Whether it's a buyer's or a seller's market or somewhere in between, make sure you call me, John O'Finkenbeiner, where real estate is made easy at 469-556-8392. Go Falcons!
Football season is in full swing. Elevate your game day experience with Edible Arrangements. Their fresh, handcrafted fruit is dipped in rich chocolate to create delicious, indulgent party platters. Visit the nearest Edible location in Rockwall or call 972-771-6454. You can also check them out at edible.com. Be sure to mention the code word Goonville on your next order and receive 10% off. Let Edible help you win your next game day before it even starts.
Our hometown Taco Casa is proud to support the outstanding programs of North Forney High School, the amazing staff, and great students. Taco Casa, still the same since 1972. Real fresh, real food, real good.
Your next new car is waiting for you at Musser's Chevrolet in Terrell. Musser's has been in business since 1962, making great deals on new and pre-owned cars and trucks. They also offer top-of-the-line automotive service by trained technicians with the most current diagnostic and repair equipment available. And they'll even offer you a free loan car while your GM car is serviced. Visit Musser Chevrolet today for your new Chevrolet or quality pre-owned vehicle. Musser Chevrolet is at 1212 Westmore Avenue in Terrell.
You're listening to North Forney Falcons football on the Goonville Radio Network.
Just a few moments before kickoff on senior night, and we'll hear from Ayanna Brown in just a couple of minutes. Let's talk a little bit more about that Royse City team that's coming in here to Citibank tonight, Tim. Last week, they're coming off a win against Kaufman. I believe it was 47-7 over Kaufman last week. And some of their numbers they put up, and I'm not really allowed to talk a whole lot about Kaufman negatively, so I'm going to watch what I say. But the numbers against Kaufman were pretty dominating. And 624 yards of total offense. Pretty balanced, though. 305 passing, 319 rushing. They did turn the ball over twice against the Lions. And then the defense also flexed against the Lions as well. 115 yards total on the night, only 16 passing. Coming into this one, they're giving up just over 30, or they're scoring just over 30 points a game, only giving up 12.5 points a game. That's what's going to be the key tonight. And they're also gaining 471 yards of total offense and only giving up 226. That's pretty lopsided numbers there. If you're a Falcons fan, it could be a bit concerning. Now, they're a team that loves to run the ball, but they will also pass. Tyson Oliver last week threw for 252 yards, 3 touchdowns. On the year, he's got 1,200 yards passing, 9 touchdowns, just 2 interceptions. And he's also, and this is a big key, this is a big stat that one of I guess, Acuna's bugaboos, you might say, but Oliver has completed 71% of his passes. That's a pretty high number in high school football, and especially you compare that to Acuna, who's, I think, right at 48%, a little less than half of his passes completed. So they're a team that run the ball and that can pass the ball. And like you mentioned earlier, they've got 3 different rushers that have all rushed for over 500 yards. They'll spread it around with those guys, keep them fresh, keep them their legs fresh for late in the game. And they're a team that can kind of do it all.
They really can. And, we kind of talked about all season long that the Falcons on offense kind of have an embarrassment of riches with everybody they've got, the 5 receivers that they have, the 2 or 3 running backs that they can shuttle into the game. Acuna throwing the ball and running the ball. But boy, when you look at those stats, and there was a lot that jumped out at me. And I guess that's what you get when you're a team that's 7-1, right? You're gonna have twice as much offense as you do defense. They've been dominating all season, and obviously against Kaufman they did the same thing. And this is going as difficult as some of those tests have been for the Falcons all season long. This is going to be a really, really tough one for them. I think the key is going to be, do they tackle? Can they tackle? Can they hold their assignments? Royse City's not giving up a lot of points, obviously, and so, we're going to have to take advantage of that when we can, but, gosh, we're going to have to stop that offense.
Yeah, and the key, like you mentioned, is tackling. That North Forney has had problems with tackling. That's how they've given up a lot of those big run plays. It's just the inability to tackle out on the edges and even in the secondary to keep those maybe a 15-yard gain from turning into a 60-yard touchdown. Then who knows if you keep them out of the end zone, what the rest of that drive entails. Maybe you get the ball back, you force a turnover or a field goal. Yeah, they are definitely going to have – and these running backs are good tonight. We know we've seen Petrov and Martinez before. Ahmad Petty Dozier is one of the new guys. We haven't really seen him, and yet he's their leading rusher on the year, averaging over 8 yards a carry. So, I mean, these are tough runners, and they're really good runners, too, that are tough to bring down. You are going to have to be at your best tackling tonight. Now, we flip over to the other side. Their defense is really good. Like I said, only 12.5 points a game. The only team to really score some points on them was Ennis, as you would expect, but they shut out Corsicana. And then they held, Kaufman to 7 points. They held Greenville to 14. They've really done a good job defensively this year. And a couple guys to look out for during the coaches show this week. Coach Jackson pointed out the defensive lineman, number 94, Jamie Cortez. He's probably their best defensive lineman. I think he's all district from last year as a defensive lineman. He'll play right up in the middle. 59 tackles on the year, 15 tackles for loss, and 7 sacks. That's a pretty solid stat line for especially an interior defensive lineman. Greg Miller on the edge, I saw him pop out a couple of times on film as well. He's got 4 sacks and 11 tackles for loss. And then the linebacker Josh Hendricks, 54 tackles, 4 tackles for loss, 4 sacks. And then really the all-around playmaker John Klump, number 14. He'll be the linebacker as well. 81 tackles. He'll lead the team in tackles, 6 tackles for loss, 3 sacks, 3 fumble recoveries, and 2 interceptions. He'll be all over the field. So this Royse City offense is a lot to handle. This Royse City defense is also a lot to handle.
Well, the defensive linemen are extremely disruptive, and they've got some really active linebackers that that fill the holes, and so it makes it difficult to run against them. And then you got a guy like John Klump, who, I mean, aside from the tackles for loss, the sacks, I mean, for a guy that's got fumble recoveries and the 2 interceptions, he's all over the place. And as you mentioned earlier, the Falcons are really going to have to take care of the ball. They're really going to have to protect it. It'll be interesting to see what the game plan is against Royse City. Do you want to get into a shootout with them, or do you want to maybe just try and grind it down and see if you can get control of that offensive line? Tall task, but it's something that I think that we're going to probably need to do, because you don't want to put the ball back in Royse City's offense.
Well, I think a big key tonight is going to getting some of those turnovers too. Causing them to have short fields, causing them to lose some of that momentum. And I would imagine, I think we're going to ask Coach Jackson about this in here in a minute when Ayana talks to him. What kind of tricks North Forney has up their sleeve. We saw last week the first play that the offense ran from against Terrell was that they throw it over to the receiver throws it to another receiver down the field. And so we know they've got some trick plays, and really, if you've got them, you got to use them tonight.
Yeah, tonight's really the chance to do that. Aside from that first play where they lateraled out to Shipley and he fired that strike to Booth standing at the end zone, they also rolled Acuna out when he hit Cam Allen. And that was something that we hadn't seen much of, if at all, this season. And that left Cam wide open in the middle of the field, and he just backpedaled into the end zone.
And we also saw the play where they ran Ty Collins out in motion before the play. They faked it to him real quick, and then came back, setting up a jailbreak screen to Nick Boot. He scored on that play. I think it was like a 40-yard touchdown that he scored on. And that's something that I've talked about a lot. If anybody has listened to me, they know that I want Ty Collins in some way involved in the passing game. Even if you're faking it to him, just the threat of him being alone in space scares me. I can only imagine how much it scares a defense. If we see more of that tonight, it's going to make me really giddy, Tim.
Well, I'll tell you, and you're right, because Collins in space is a scary, scary human being. That's not somebody you want seeing, because the bottom line is, he can get by you 3 ways. He can run by you, he can run over you, or he can run around you. And, the reality is that he's going to take a lot of the attentions. So if he motions out of the backfield, that automatically forces the defense to adjust, and it maybe leaves somebody else open on that pass play.
Well, we're still finishing up the senior night festivities as they're announcing all the seniors as they walk out onto the field. So we've got a couple minutes before kickoff. So why don't we take one more step away and be right back after this, right here on the Goonville Radio Network.
Sticky Ribs Barbecue is a family-owned business located in Forney, Texas. We have all of your favorite smoked meats complemented with homemade sides. Take a bite of our mouth-watering barbecue, slow-smoked to perfection over Texas post oak on traditional barbecue pits. We offer full-service catering for any size event. Visit us at stickyribsbarbecue.com or on our Facebook page. That's Sticky with no C and Ribs with a Z. Contact us today and see what you've been missing. Sticky Ribs Barbecue. Get addicted. Your go-to for barbecue.
Hey Falcons fans, are you looking for a local streamlined real estate experience? I'm John O'Finkenbeiner with Exalt Realty, and in my 12 years in real estate, I have perfected the art of keeping the process of buying and selling simple and easy. Whether it's a buyer's or a seller's market or somewhere in between, make sure you call me, John O'Finkenbeiner, where real estate is made easy at 469-556-8392. Go Falcons!
Football season is in full swing. Elevate your game day experience with edible arrangements. Their fresh, handcrafted fruit is dipped in rich chocolate to create delicious, indulgent party platters. Visit the nearest edible location in Rockwall or call 972-771-6454. You can also check them out at edible.com. Be sure to mention the code word Goonville on your next order and receive 10% off. Let Edible help you win your next game day before it even starts.
Our hometown Taco Casa is proud to support the outstanding programs of North Forney High School, the amazing staff, and great students. Taco Casa, still the same since 1972. Real fresh, real food, real good.
Your next new car is waiting for you at Musser Chevrolet in Terrell. Musser's has been in business since 1962, making great deals on new and pre-owned cars and trucks. They also offer top-of-the-line automotive service by trained technicians with the most current diagnostic and repair equipment available. And they'll even offer you a free loan car while your GM car is serviced. Visit Musser Chevrolet today for your new Chevrolet or quality pre-owned vehicle. Musser Chevrolet is at 1212 Westmore Avenue in Terrell.
You're listening to North Forney Falcons football on the Goonville Radio Network.
Welcome back to the pregame show right here on the Goonville Radio Network with Wally and Tim. Let's go ahead and head down to the field where Ayanna is standing by with Coach Jackson. Ayanna, what do you got for us?
Thanks, Wally. I'm here with Coach Jackson. Royse City is really destructive up front. What can you do to negate their offenses?
Well, for sure it'll be our most physical test of the year. I'll talk to our guys about. It's not a game for the faint of heart tonight. We're going to play very physical and match their physicality as best we can.
The Bulldogs are a run-first team, and y'all have struggled giving up the big run plays. Is there anything you can do to keep that from being an issue tonight?
It's just about being disciplined. So we got to make sure our guys are in the right spot, and they got to stay in the right spot.
Is this the type of game where we can expect to see a bunch of one-side kicks, fake punts, two-point conversions and trick plays to try and steal a few points?
I always kind of let the game come to us on that kind of stuff, but, we've got tricks in our bag, and we just kind of just see how it goes. But it's a big deal for us to win by more than 7 tonight for playoff implications, so points will be at a premium for sure.
Thanks, Coach. Good luck tonight.
Thank you.
Back to you, Wally.
All right, thank you, Ayanna. One of the things that stood out to me there with Coach Jackson talking about, the defense giving up big run plays this year, he was saying we've got to stay disciplined. Discipline. And he's kind of talked to me a couple times about that on air and off air during the coaches show, saying, we've had guys that kind of get out of position, and a lot of times when you see a big run, that's how it happens. One of the guys kind of gets out of their gap or does something a little beyond what they're supposed to be doing on that play, their assignment, and then get out of position, and that's when that hole opens up. That's usually what happens. Sometimes it's just a really good running back makes a couple of good moves and causes that big run. But a lot of times it's because somebody gets out of position defensively, and so I think that's something that's kind of irritated him and the coaching staff. Some of those guys getting out of position, trying to play beyond themselves. And North Forney's defense, they've given up some big run plays, but they've also showed this year at times to be a stifling defense. And I think if they are playing their assignments and they are playing tough, and they're tackling well, this is a tough defense, and we're just going to have to kind of see what defense we do get tonight from North Forney.
Well, and a lot of that comes down to trust, right? Do you trust the guy that's next to you? When you start talking about people leaving their assignments, a lot of times what it is, hey, I don't think the guy next to me is going to make the play. And you can kind of see that on film when you watch the film and you see the plays. You can see guys crashing down or guys leaving their man. because they just don't believe that the guy next to them is going to do their job. And if everybody, I always go back to it. I'm not a Bill Belichick fan. I hate the Patriots, but the bottom
Really?
line,
I thought you really liked them.
Yeah, not so much. But if everybody just will do their job, then you're right. This team can be a stifling defense. We've seen it periodically this year. We just haven't seen it consistently, and that's what we need to see tonight.
Well, and you also heard Coach Jackson talk about letting the game come to him, but I think he's trying to deke us a little bit there because last week there was something we talked about whether there being any kind of big plays or trick plays or anything like that, and he was like, no, we'll just kind of have to see, we really don't have anything planned, and the first play to do a wide receiver screen or a wide receiver pass. So I'm thinking, to me, this is the type of game where you do have a lot of tricks up your sleeves, and you got to use them. I mean, you can't hold on to anything because it ain't going to matter after this week if you don't win. So this is the type of game to me where we might see. I would imagine we'll see some type of wide receiver pass. We might see a halfback pass. We're going to see some trick plays for sure, and I'm kind of getting excited just thinking about what you can do. And something else that we haven't seen a whole lot. They did it a little bit last week against Terrell. Is attempt those onside kicks. Of course, in 2017, they did it a lot. They executed at a very high rate, an extremely lucky high rate, really. Last year, they didn't do it very well. Earlier in this season, they attempted it. I think the first two games really never came away. They only got one of those. They were 1 for 7, 1 for 8, something like that. And then they kind of just abandoned it. They did a little bit against Terrell last week. They didn't get any of them. I would imagine they're going to try to steal a few possessions by doing something like that tonight here. And again, I wouldn't be surprised. We saw it last week, and I think Coach Jackson is kind of showed his hand to me, anyways, in the past, to where he'll kind of do something the week before, just to see how it works, see how it feels, only to know he's going to try to use it again next week. They did the onside kicks. They did that wide receiver screen pass or wide receiver pass. The other thing that I think that they'll have to do quite a bit tonight is go for two. Steal some of those points, kind of catch them off guard. They ran a fake field goal. They didn't even go for two necessarily. They just ran a fake field goal last week and converted it. I would expect to see something like that, maybe even a fake punt or two throughout the night.
Yeah, I think it was the great Yogi Berra that once said, you can believe 90% of what a coach says about half the time. But I do believe that what Coach Jackson says about seeing, letting the game come to them, I think they're going to have to pick their spots for it. I don't think they can just abandon the game plan and just go all, get crazy out there with the trick plays, because you have to balance that with field position. Because with a high-powered offense like Royse City has, you don't want to give them a short field and put that kind of pressure on your defense, because that's when you get into, again, that whole trust issue, and we can't let them score, so I've got to do more than what I'm assigned to do at that point. So I think you're right. I think we will see some of those plays. Don't know when, and I think he's going to just kind of pick and choose his spots as he sees appropriate.
Well, let's take one more step away as they are finally wrapping up senior festivities on the field. We'll get right back here for kickoff on the Goonville Radio Network.
Sticky Ribs Barbecue is a family-owned business located in Forney, Texas. We have all of your favorite smoked meats complemented with homemade sides. Take a bite of our mouth-watering barbecue, slow-smoked to perfection over Texas post oak on traditional barbecue pits. We offer full-service catering for any size event. Visit us at stickyribsbarbecue.com or on our Facebook page. That's Sticky with no C and Ribs with a Z. Contact us today and see what you've been missing. Sticky Ribs Barbecue. Get addicted. Your go-to for barbecue.
Hey Falcons fans, are you looking for a local streamlined real estate experience? I'm John O'Finkenbeiner with Exalt Realty, and in my 12 years in real estate, I have perfected the art of keeping the process of buying and selling simple and easy. Whether it's a buyer's or a seller's market or somewhere in between, make sure you call me, John O'Finkenbeiner, where real estate is made easy at 469-556-8392. Go Falcons!
Football season is in full swing. Elevate your game day experience with edible arrangements. Their fresh, handcrafted fruit is dipped in rich chocolate to create delicious, indulgent party platters. Visit the nearest edible location in Rockwall or call 972-771-6454. You can also check them out at edible.com. Be sure to mention the code word Goonville on your next order and receive 10% off. Let Edible help you win your next game day before it even starts.
Our hometown Taco Casa is proud to support the outstanding programs of North Forney High School, the amazing staff, and great students. Taco Casa, still the same since 1972. Real fresh, real food, real good.
Your next new car is waiting for you at Musser's Chevrolet in Terrell. Musser's has been in business since 1962, making great deals on new and pre-owned cars and trucks. They also offer top-of-the-line automotive service by trained technicians with the most current diagnostic and repair equipment available. And they'll even offer you a free loan car while your GM car is serviced. Visit Musser Chevrolet today for your new Chevrolet or quality pre-owned vehicle. Musser Chevrolet is at 1212 Westmore Avenue in Terrell.
You're listening to North Forney Falcons football on the Goonville Radio Network.
And when the captains are ready to come out onto the field for the coin toss on a chilly, cold night here at Citibank, and it's even chillier being up here at the very top of the press box.
Well, and I mentioned, I don't know if I said this earlier, but I mentioned to John Garcia, who kind of runs the place around here, that I would mention.
Did you use air quotes when you said "run the place"?
No.
Oh, okay, I made that up.
No, but I said you can count on me mentioning that we have a beautiful scoreboard. Why don't we glass in this level? I'm used to being downstairs, or is it upstairs? Upstairs. It's downstairs.
It is downstairs.
Yeah, I'm just. It's Friday night. I'm confused about.
You're used to being there where it's nice and warm, and you're out here with
that's exactly
with the big boys where it's cold, and you're taking a little time to adjust.
You're absolutely right. It is. It's a little bit cooler out here. I don't know how you do this all season long.
You know, sometimes I wonder the same thing myself. So it looks like North Forney's won the toss, and they have elected to receive. So they want to get that offense out in the field and see what they can do early. Now, I do want to kind of take a chance when we got just a second to look around the rest of the district and just kind of see some of those other matches. I doubt that anybody's scored this early, but let's just kind of set the table for what's up tonight.
Well, Ennis and Corsicana are underway in Corsicana. No score with 9:41 left in the first. Forney and Greenville are also underway, and it looks like Greenville has the ball. And, well, I just got a text that Greenville has scored.
Oh, well, that didn't take long.
Yeah, so it was a 60-yard run.
Of course.
And, you know, the person I got the text from said that that game is already over. It's 7-0 Greenville. Forney played a great defensive game last week. Does not look like they're off to the same start this week. Sulphur Springs is at Kaufman tonight. Playing at Lions Stadium. That one is not yet to kick off, and then the last game is this one to get kicked off, and I guess we'll do that right after the national anthem.
They are about to play the national anthem, so we'll take a listen into that. The honor guard is out at the 50-yard line to present the colors. Tim, it's time for football.
I'm excited. This could be a good game.
Well, you know, in playoff implications aside, you know, I think that's what a lot of people are thinking about. It's what we're thinking about. Players, everybody's kind of thinking about that. It's in their back of their minds, if not at the very least. But aside from that, this should be a fun game. You know, these are two teams that could score the ball, and they can stop. They got talent on defense. I know Royse's kind of displayed that more consistently than the Falcons have defensively this year, but we've seen it from North Forney at times be a really stout defense. So this should be a lot of fun.
I think so. And again, I mean, this was the game that I think everybody pointed to at the beginning of the season, and kind of with anticipation, and we're here, and both teams are about to take the field. And, you know, I like the fact that we're going to see the Falcons offense first. see what they can do as far as driving that ball, controlling the ball, see if they can punch it in. I think if they take a lead, build some confidence, that really will go a long way toward a win.
Well, and again, it's senior night as well, so that's always adds a little bit more of an element to it for the seniors, knowing this will be the last time they will play at Citibank, even if they make playoffs. This is it for Citibank Stadium for them. Back deep to receive for North Forney, Ty Collins and LaMarcus Kirk, both at their 5-yard line on the hashes respectively. And kicking off for the Royse City Bulldogs will be number 47, Anthony Ortiz. Royse City in the white tops, the black numbers, gold pants and gold helmets. North Forney in the all blues with the white numbers on the backs and the sleeves. And then the blue helmets with silver wings. This kick will be fielded right at the goal line, and Collins is going to hand it off to Kirk. Kirk's going to bring it out across the 10, across the 15, along the sideline, and finally does step out near the 25-yard line. So decent return for North Forney, although it gets right out to where they would have been. And we do have a flag on the play at the goal line, and I'm going to wonder if they're going to say that it was a forward lateral, because they handed it off forward, and they did that a couple weeks ago. You know, I found that interesting. That's what they're going to call a legal something handoff. I didn't even understand all of what he said.
It was forward, just as you said.
But, you know, they did it a couple weeks ago, and I caught it right away and said, I don't know if they can do that. They never threw a flag or anything and get away with it. So I found that interesting that they did call it here. So, obviously, you have to hand, just like if you were running a play, you have to hand that ball behind, or it's going to count as a forward pass, and you can't do that on a kickoff. And so that's going to put the ball inside the 1-yard line for North Forney. Yep. So that's not exactly how you would want this game to go down to start.
Probably not the way they drew it up. You know, they've looked uncomfortable on some of those reverses that they've run on kickoffs, and that was another one where it looked kind of out of sorts.
One-on-one coverage on the outside, and the first pass thrown in over the head of the intended receiver, Nick Boo. We've got maybe offsides against Royse City. Sure enough, offside against Royse City, so a bit of a break there. Not only does that kind of give them some room, get them outside the 5-yard line, but it also makes it 1st and 5.
Yeah, you know, we've seen a lot of Acuna overthrowing receivers a lot lately, and that was one where there was single coverage. You know, you count on Boo to be able to get by that guy, and that could be a big play. He's got to make that connection.
Hand off to Collins. Collins up the middle, and Collins is going to be stuffed right at the line of scrimmage. It's a stout run defense, and it all starts up front with Jamie Cortez. And, of course, those linebackers that we highlighted in the pregame show can carry their own weight in the run game, too, that being Josh Hendricks and John Klump.
Yeah, they've got guys. They got 6 guys right in the box there. And
so down in 5, they fake the handoff, throw to DeJuan Johnson. He's got the first down along the sideline, cuts back, still on his feet. Wrapped up and finally driven out near the 15-yard line. That should be good for a North Forney first down.
And you saw DeJuan, break a tackle and cut up field there. And that's the kind of thing that you look for with these receivers. They have the ability to get loose, and then they've got speed as well.
1st and 10 for North Forney, moving fast, hand off to Collins. Collins reading his blocks, gets 2 yards out of it, out to the 17. And it'll bring up 2nd down and 8. You know, and one thing that Coach Jackson did mention kind of to me, not on the coaches' show, but just as we were talking, was that, they were going to run some max protect. They were a little bit concerned about that defensive front from Royse City. And that's why you only see 2 receivers out there right now. Another handoff to Collins. Collins puts his head down, trying to get a push from behind from Talley. A gain of a little over 3, and that'll bring up 3rd down and 4.
Well, they had the right play call there. They had they were running it off to the left. The defensive line stunted to their left, to the offensive line's right. If Talley can get that block there, Collins has got some running room.
Now they're going to run an option. They pitch it to Collins. Collins eludes the first defender in the backfield, but can only make it back to the line of scrimmage, and that'll bring up 4th down and 5, and the Falcons will be forced to punt. They ran a different play that time, something we really haven't seen. They kind of bunched those receivers to the right next to the formation. And then Acuna ran the option with Collins, but Royse City was ready for it, and nothing doing for the Falcons.
Yeah, and I don't know that Acuna made the right read on that one. It looked to me like he got rid of it much too quickly, like he may have been able to turn that upfield.
Clean snap. The punt is a low wobbly one. It's going to bounce at the 40, then back As it approaches the 45, it'll be down at the 44 of North Forney. So Royse City with great field position for their first drive offensively. You know, I think that's something you talk about Acuna not making the right read. I think that's something that you would see when a team hasn't ran that option before. You know, that's an old school option, not a read option. And I think not having ran that, that's a hard read to make. That probably being the first time he's ever run that in a game, especially at the high school level.
Yeah, you know, and I like the theory about that because that's obviously something that Royse City hasn't seen. It just comes down to execution and really just having trust in the play.
3 receivers bunched to the left for Royse City. They throw it out there, and blowing that play off was Jules Demps, the senior, one of the captains on senior night. Probably the most heady North Forney defender we have. Coming up from that safety spot to blow up that play, a loss of 5 back to the 49-yard line.
And that's what we're going to have to see. We're going to have to see read and react and be in your place when you need to be there.
Tyson Oliver, the quarterback. They're going to try to set up a screen coming back this way. Intercepted by North Forney. DeMarcus Kirk at the 30. He's only got Oliver to beat at the 15. The 10 cuts back on him inside the 5. Touchdown, North Forney, and the Falcons score first.
Well, you know, Wally, I don't like it when I have to say that you were right, but one of the things you mentioned in the pregame is we've got to get some turnovers. First turnover of the game, it's an interception by Kirk, who takes it back for 6. That's a good start for that Falcons defense.
You know, you need the turnovers. It's even better when you can score off of those turnovers, just as DeMarcus Kirk just did. And that play looked a little unsettling to start out with. They try to run the running back in motion the opposite way, then set up the screen going the other way. And it looked like, I thought Patrick Lacey was going to get his hands on the ball first, kind of retreating back from his, after he pursued the quarterback. Kirk comes flying up to take the ball right before it gets to the receiver's hands, and then he's got to put a move on Oliver, which he did for the touchdown. And the extra point kick is up and good, and the Falcons lead. With 9:08 to play in the first quarter, 7-0. You're listening to North Forney Falcons football on the Goonville Radio Network.
Your new Cadillac is as close as Musser Cadillac in Terrell. Musser's has been making great deals on new and pre-owned cars and trucks since 1962. And you're sure to get a great deal on a new Cadillac when you visit Musser's in Terrell. They also offer top-of-the-line automotive service by trained technicians with the most current diagnostic and repair equipment available. And they'll even offer you a free loan car while your GM car is serviced. Visit Musser Cadillac today for your new Cadillac or quality pre-owned vehicle. Musser's is at 1212 Westmore Avenue in Terrell.
Our hometown Taco Casa is proud to support the outstanding programs of North Forney High School, the amazing staff, and great students. Taco Casa, right here in Forney, Texas, feeding hungry folks since 2010. Real fresh, real food, real good.
You're listening to North Forney Falcons football on the Goonville Radio Network.
7-0, North Forney on top here at Citibank Stadium. Thanks to the 53-yard interception return for a touchdown by DeMarcus Kirk, and that's got the fans into it. Players all into it. Kickoff team's ready to go. And that was the big momentum change. It's come at the perfect time, too. They had the 3-and-out offensively. Or no, they had the first down. They're kind of pinned back. They give the ball to 44 of their own 44 to Royse City. And then Jules Demps on the first play blew up the play for a 5-yard loss, and then on the second play gets returned for a touchdown. So a great start for North Forney. Rodriguez will kick this one away. It'll be fielded at the 5-yard line, bobbled off of the return man. And he's going to be swallowed up before he can get to the 15 by Ethan Monaco.
I really liked that kickoff right there. You saw everybody going down in their lanes and staying in their lanes, breaking down, waiting for hit. You're waiting to see which direction and not over pursuing. This is a different looking Falcons defense. I mean, at least through the first 2 plays of Royse City's offense and then that kickoff. It's just a very different look, a very different feel than I think we've seen recently.
2 receivers split out to each side for Royse City. Ball on the hash, on the right hash. Dozier, the running back. Hand off to Dozier up the middle. Dozier's got a gain of 6 on the play out to the 21-yard line. I'm going to make it 2nd down and 4 for the Bulldogs. Petty Dozier, the running back, he will be the kind of the guy that gets the dose, the heavy dosage. This time the quarterback keeps it. Oliver gets slung down by Lacey after a short gain. And that'll bring up a Sticky Ribs barbecued money down. It'll be 3rd and 2.
Again, that's just a matter of staying home and making that play, not crashing down, not letting him get to the edge that time by Lacey.
Oliver hands it off to Dozier. Dozier looking. He's got a crease. And he does have a first down, still on his feet. Able to get across the 30-yard line out to the 32. First down for the Bulldogs. Coming up on 8 minutes to play in the first quarter. Falcons leading 7-0. Two running backs in the backfield. This time they hand it off to Petrov. Petrov looking to get the edge. This time he gets wrapped up by Holt. He's able to pull Holt for a couple of yards to the 38.
You know, Petrov's only 5'10", but he's 205. He's a load. Haven't seen the speed from him so far, but on that play, but you know, he definitely has some power.
Again, a running back to each side of Oliver in the backfield. This time he'll hand it off to Dozier. Dozier looking around. We got a flag on the play. Dozier gets wrapped up and driven down into the ground by Holt. We'll check and see what that flag is. It's in the area of holding.
It came out awfully quickly, so it looks like my guess would be that it is going to be holding.
It'll be a big play for North Forney. The mark is right at the first down marker. Now we got a chop block against Royse City. So even better for North Forney. It's a personal foul, 15-yard penalty. That'll make it second down and 20. We saw that a couple of times against last week. Terrell had a couple of chop blocks called against them. I hadn't seen that really in a long time until last week, and here we see another one early in the game.
I think it was the first time we've seen that this season. You know, it's when somebody engages high and somebody goes low on them. You can't do that. Just you know, it's a safety.
It's a dangerous play.
Yeah.
This time they're going to have a fullback in the backfield as well. So three running backs. They hand it off to Petrov. Petrov looking to get through the line. Able to wrap him up from behind was Roderick Brown. After a gain of just a couple, and it's going to bring up a long third down. And North Forney has struggled on long third downs this year defensively. It has been an irritation, to say the least. Looks like 3rd and 18 for the Bulldogs. They need to get to the 43-yard line. Right now they're at the 20, just outside the 25. A three-man front for North Forney. That's all they send us three. Getting pressure is Lacey, flushing them out to Brown's side. Trying to find a receiver, throws it, and it's high and thrown out of bounds over the head of Peyton Petrov, and the Bulldogs will be forced to punt.
Again, good defense, good pressure, good coverage downfield for the Falcons. They were running with all those receivers. He had nobody to get to, and it all started up front. You know, that immediate pressure up the middle forced him out, and at that point then he's just kind of running for his life.
Well, it was really important to do that with a three-man front. They only sent 3 guys, so they were able to drop back 8 to really help with coverage. A lot of times when you do that, they get a lot of time to throw. Somebody finds their way open. That time, those 3 guys were able to get that pressure. It's a low snap, and the punt is also low. It's going to bounce near the 45, almost hit Nemo. He's able to get out of the way just in time. And it's going to roll dead at the 37-yard line, and North Forney takes over from there, leading 7-0 with 6:43 to play in the first quarter. So far, Tim, you have to be impressed with what North Forney has thrown out there.
You know, the game plan so far seems to be on point, especially on that defensive side of the ball. I mean, that's been a big, you know, issue for them. But, boy, they are just really, really playing well, holding their position, making some tackles. It's a really good start.
Now they have a tricky formation. Only 2 linemen where the ball is on the right hash. Everybody else is to the left. Acuna's going to throw that way to Ty Collins, and we've got a flag on the play, a false start on North Forney. That was setting up to look dangerous for the Falcons, like in a good way. We're going to have a false start. So the trickeration actually comes back to haunt North Forney. Coach Jackson doesn't understand why it's being called or who it's being called on. He's not happy with somebody.
Yeah, you know, sometimes it's hard to tell. Is he yelling at the ref, or is he telling his players that you need to do better, which I think is what he yells out there.
So they're going to line up in the same formation. And this time Acuna takes off right up the middle with it. He's got a big gain across the 45, across the 50, the 40, the 45, down to the 30-yard line. A big play from Acuna. They run the same formation. This time instead of throwing it out, he keeps it and runs for a huge gain.
So they're going a little swing and gate here, and I can guarantee you this is not something that Royse City is going to be is prepared for.
That little rascal, Coach Jackson, telling me this. We'll just kind of see how the game comes to us. Now they throw up, setting up the screen. Collins caught it, but he was wrapped up right away, and I think that was Jamie Cortez, the all-district defensive lineman, blowing that one up for a loss of 4. We'll see if they stay in that formation or they do something different. Nope, they're going to stay in it. They've got 2 linemen on the ball on the left hash, and then they got a tight end right there behind them. A receiver split way out to the right, and then everybody else on the short side of the field to the left. This time they come back to the right. It's Nick Boo. It's a low throw. Boo cannot bring it in. That was there. It was there for the taking. It's a low throw from Acuna, and that's going to bring up 3rd and 14.
Well, it's interesting to me that he's sticking with. Oh, now he's bringing the line back in. I was going to say, you run that 3 or 4 times, you sort of run out of plays, and Royse City gets a little smarter there. So,
yeah, that was a nice run they had from Acuna, and then they had a nice play set up here to Boo, just a low throw. So North Forney in a bit of a hole here, 3rd and 14. They need to reach the 20-yard line.
They don't have a safety back, so if he can get that slant.
Acuna drops back, being pressured. He's going to take off and run. Makes a nice move on the defender on the edge. He's going to pick up the first down. Inside the 15, inside the 10. He's got a touchdown, Acuna. A 34-yard scramble with a move on the cornerback that left him shoeless.
I talk a lot about Acuna missing plays and missing throws, but boy, I can't say enough about his running the last couple of games. 2 weeks ago, he was running. He pulled the ball and went off to the outside to the left side and took one in from about 9 yards out. Last week, he ran some people over. That time, he just ran by them. He's a smart quarterback, and I know that's one thing that Coach Ludlow has said about him all season long.
North Forney leads 14-0 here at Citibank Stadium. We'll be right back after this on the Goonville Radio Network.
Hey Falcons fans, are you looking for a local streamlined real estate experience? I'm John O'Finkenbeiner with Exalt Realty, and in my 12 years in real estate, I have perfected the art of keeping the process of buying and selling simple and easy. Whether it's a buyer's or a seller's market or somewhere in between, make sure you call me, John O'Finkenbeiner, where real estate is made easy at 469-556-8392. Go Falcons!
Sticky Ribs Barbecue is a family-owned business located in Forney, Texas. We have all of your favorite smoked meats complemented with homemade sides. Take a bite of our mouth-watering barbecue, slow-smoked to perfection over Texas post oak on traditional barbecue pits. We offer full-service catering for any size event. Visit us at stickyribsbarbecue.com or on our Facebook page. That's Sticky with no C and Ribs with a Z. Contact us today and see what you've been missing. Sticky Ribs Barbecue. Get addicted. Your go-to for barbecue. You're listening to North Forney Falcons football on the Goonville Radio Network.
Here in just a moment, we'll get a check around the rest of the district. Going well here. We'll see if it's going well everywhere else North Forney needs it to. So a squib kick going to be fielded at the 20-yard line, but they're going to say he called for a fair catch. 14-0 Falcons on top. That time, it was 3rd and 14 for the Falcons from the 34-yard line. The Falcons defense has given up some big 3rd down plays this year. That time the offense actually gets kind of reverses the roles there and scores a big touchdown. Man, what a play by Acuna.
Yeah, that was a big play. And Acuna has shown the ability to scramble all season long. And the last couple of games, as I said earlier, you're seeing him kind of showcase those legs. And, I know Coach Ludlow is pretty excited about having a full season with him next year.
Handoff, read option, up the middle, it's Dozier. Dozier running hard. Dozier has a gain of 7. Out to the 28-yard line. Now they'll move Petrov from a receiver over to another running back. We'll have 2 running backs. They hand it off to Petrov. Petrov up the middle, wrapped up right away. Taken down after a gain of 2 at the 30-yard line. I'll leave him a yard short. It'll be 3rd down and 1. It's a Sticky Ribs Barbecue, 3rd down, money down. Hand off to Dozier. Dozier looking for the first. He's got it. Across the 35-yard line out near the 40. And finally gets dropped by DeMarcus Kirk, who was trying to strip the ball away. So it's a 1st down for the Bulldogs.
The Falcons had a lot of success with that, stripping the ball last week. And you can see that when somebody's got a hold of him, somebody else is coming in and trying to get that ball.
Oliver keeps it this time. Oliver breaks away from a tackle at the line of scrimmage. I thought Lacey had him for sure. He's able to squeeze his way out of that one for a gain of 4 out to the 44. 5 minutes left in the first quarter. North Forney 14, the Bulldogs 0. A 53-yard interception return for a touchdown, the first score for North Forney. And then a 34-yard run that was kept by Jacob Acuna. Hand off to Dozier. Dozier met right away. Jerome Collins, I saw, was in there.
Yeah, I think it was
And Roger Brown as well. That brings up a 3rd and 5. Sticky Ribs Barbecue, 3rd down, money down. High snap, handoff to Petrov. Petrov met right away. He's able to pull ahead for 2 yards, but that's going to leave him 4th and 3. And will the Bulldogs down 14 go for it here? Nope, they're going to bring out the punt team. Now, this is prime fake punt territory.
I was waiting for you to pause so I could throw that in there, but you're absolutely right. This would be a, you're down by 14, 4th and about 4 at midfield, near midfield. Yeah, I think you're right. This is a prime time. This is where we saw it happen earlier this season.
You would imagine North Forney will be expecting something like that. It's a low snap. They're able to get the punt off. It's a short punt that's going to go out of bounds just inside the 35-yard line. For the second time tonight, the snap getting back to Petrov is low, and he has to scoop it up off the ground. That time, I think North Forney was bracing more for the fake punt possibility, so they weren't really sending the house. If they had, I think that one could have been blocked.
Well, and I think, that's the second snap that has gone back there, and it has been a bit of a challenge for the punter. And you kind of, the time that it takes to get back there, you'd think that you'd be able to get through, but I think you're right. I think they were kind of in safety right there, just making sure that they weren't going to run a fake punt.
Now North Forney comes out, 5 wide receivers, no running backs. They pass it out to Boo. Boo eludes a defender, stays on his feet, and gets out to the 42-yard line. They're going to say that Nick Boo was down before he fumbled, but it looked like North Forney came up with the ball anyways.
Yeah, Riley Tracy came up with it, but you can see that Royse City as he was going down, was trying to strip that ball, but he was down before
5 wide receivers. Empty back set. They don't do that too often. Acuna will throw it across the middle. Cam Allen across the 40-yard line. He's got one man to beat, trying to stay away from him inside the 15, the 10, looking for the corner. He cuts back inside the 5. No, he gets dropped down at the 5-yard line. And we've got a flag on the play, I would imagine, for a face mask. We'll move that all the way up to about the 2.5-yard line. And nice. That was one of those read options. You kind of see Acuna with the ball shuffling for a second to see if he wanted to take off. And then, bam, Cam Allen right up the middle. We've seen that a couple times this year where they just kind of lose sight of Cam Allen, even as big as he is. And then he rumbles all the way down near the 5-yard line.
Well, I think the key to that play, I don't think Acuna was planning on running that ball at all. I think that what he was doing was shuffling up and drawing those linebackers and that secondary up, and that let Cam Allen wide open because they've already seen what Acuna can do on the ground, right? He's already got 2 big runs. So you've got to, once you see that, you've got to react to that, and that leaves somebody open there.
So that makes it 1st and goal inside the 5-yard line for the Falcons, looking to go up by 3 touchdowns. Ball we spotted at the 3-yard line. Snap to Acuna, hand off to, no, Acuna's going to keep it. Fallen blocks, lunges for the end zone. He's got a touchdown, and the Falcons go up 20-0 with 3 minutes still left in the first quarter. I think Royse City's reeling a bit here. They're not used to being shocked like this so early in the game.
Well, after that second touchdown, the Falcons already had more points than Royse City averages giving up. Now we're at going on 21 here. They're used to doing this to teams.
The extra point kick is up, and it is good. Falcons on top, 21-0 with 3:05 to play in the first quarter. You're listening to North Forney Falcons football on the Goonville Radio Network.
Our hometown Taco Casa is proud to support the outstanding programs of North Forney High School, the amazing staff, and great students. Taco Casa, still the same since 1972. Real fresh, real food, real good.
Your next new car is waiting for you at Musser's Chevrolet in Terrell. Musser's has been in business since 1962, making great deals on new and pre-owned cars and trucks. They also offer top-of-the-line automotive service by trained technicians with the most current diagnostic and repair equipment available. And they'll even offer you a free loan car while your GM car is serviced. Visit Musser Chevrolet today for your new Chevrolet or quality pre-owned vehicle. Musser Chevrolet is at 1212 Westmore Avenue in Terrell.
You're listening to North Forney Falcons football on the Goonville Radio Network.
Getting set to kick off. This might be a spot. Wouldn't be surprised if Coach Jackson decided an onside kick here. But your defense has been playing well, so you might not want to take that risk. And sure enough, they kick this one away. It's going to be fielded at the 12-yard line, but called for a fair catch. And, that was one thing that I did notice looking at some of Royse City's stats and box scores. They don't return the ball out a whole lot. They do call a fair catch pretty much no matter what, because that would have been a pretty prime territory at the 12-yard line with some room to run to take a chance on a return. Okay, so we're getting told from the refs that there was a fair catch called, but it wasn't by the player who caught the ball. So, therefore, the player will be down to where he caught the ball at. If this ain't a wacky game as far as kickoffs go, I don't know what is. The very first kickoff of the game, North Forney tried the little handoff reverse, but they handed it off in front instead of kind of behind the guy. And so they marked him down at where they did that, which is at the 1-yard line. And then now they call that, which I've never seen. Hand off to Dozier. Dozier eludes a defender in the backfield, still on his feet. He's not going to get very far when it's all said and done. This North Forney defense, there's still a lot of game to be played. We still got a little under 3 minutes to play in the first quarter, but I want to give them the credit that they've deserved so far through this game. This defense has been all over the place and tackling fairly well tonight.
Yeah, I was just going to say that, we're seeing some missed tackles, but we're also seeing a lot of swarm out there, which means that when somebody gets by or gets through a tackle, there's other people there, and they're not missing on that second try.
Brings up second down and a long 7. Hand off to Petrov. Petrov up the middle. He's met by a couple of Falcons. Powell being pushed out to the 20-yard line, and that's going to bring up a 3rd down and 3. It's a Sticky Ribs barbecue, 3rd down, money down. It seems like Royse City has been in a lot of 3rd downs tonight. So far, even though the game's early on. Petty, Dozier, the running back in the backfield, 2 receivers split out to each side. Oliver takes a snap, rolls out to his right. Throws right, and a nice catch along the sideline by Michael Alfin. It was well defended by Jacob Donaldson over there. I thought he was going to get there in time to break that up, knock it away.
It looked like it tipped it away, but Alfin brought that ball in.
So first down for Royse City. Hand off around the right side. Dozier looking for the edge. He gets shoved out of bounds with a short gain by Ethan Monaco. A gain of just a yard. Brings up second down and 9.
Falcons defense doing a good job of stringing that out, not letting him get to the edge, not letting him turn it up. And that's what you got to do. You got to limit those plays and keep it to 1 or 2 yards.
And the shotgun, they're going to throw out into the flat. It's Dozier. Dozier looking for some space. Not a whole lot there. The reception thrown to the running back. Gain of 3 on the play. It's going to be 3rd and 6 now. It's another Sticky Ribs barbecue, 3rd down, money down.
Good reaction by the Falcons defensive backs. The one thing they're going to want to watch for is that they don't fake that, have them commit, and then put it over the top. We've seen that happen this year.
Oliver rolls out to his right, looking deep down the field, down the right sideline. It's overthrown past the intended receiver, Michael Alfin. Donaldson there in good coverage. And Royse City will again be forced to bring out the punting. And this might be a situation where you see North Forney go for it. The first 2 punts from Royse City have been low. The snaps have been low and on the ground, taking some time to get those punts off. So I wonder, North Forney couldn't do it last time because they were having to play for the fake punt possibility. This time, not so much fake punt possibility. This might be where you come after it. Send some guys, but this time it's a clean snap and a clean punt. Shipley comes up to play it. He had somebody right next to him, a Bulldog defender. I don't know if he might not have called for a fair catch or not, but no flags on the play.
It looked like he got there at the exact same time. It almost looked like he was going to catch the ball right there. I was waiting for the flag, but no flag came out, and Shipley was able to make a clean catch. And
it was a dangerous catch.
It was a dangerous catch, that's for sure.
I'd say that's one of those, and I think that's what they're telling him on the sideline. Just let that go. Let that get out of there. Don't go up and try to make a play on that. Ball will be spotted at the 33-yard line of North Forney. Kuna takes a snap, drops back. That one wobbles out of his arm, but Nick Boo able to come back and dive to make the play. That one just fluttered out of the hand of Acuna that slipped right out of there. Boo smartly recognized that one getting all the way to him. He dove back to the ball for a gain of 8. Kuna in the shotgun, fakes the handoff. They throw it to the sideline, caught by Boo. Boo makes a defender miss, and he puts on the Jets. One man to beat, the 20, the 10, the 5, and the Falcons are up by 4. What a move by Nick Boo. And also, I want to point out, too, Acuna with a sidearm throw on that. He had a defender coming off the edge. If he throws that over the top like a normal quarterback does, that's probably going to get deflected or tipped. He throws that sidearm like a baseball player, able to get it to Boo. Boo puts on the move and then puts on the Jets for the touchdown.
Well, we've been talking about that all season. You get it out to those playmakers, they make one guy miss, and it's really hard to catch them because guess what? They're fast. And that's what we saw there. And Boo, boy, he has really come out of nowhere this season and has really taken on the role as that lead receiver for the Falcons.
Falcons 28, Bulldogs 0. As we approach the end of the first quarter, you're listening to North Forney Falcons football on the Goonville Radio Network.
Hey Falcons fans, are you looking for a local streamlined real estate experience? I'm John O'Finkenbeiner with Exalt Realty, and in my 12 years in real estate, I have perfected the art of keeping the process of buying and selling simple and easy. Whether it's a buyer's or a seller's market or somewhere in between, make sure you call me, John O'Finkenbeiner, where real estate is made easy at 469-556-8392. Go Falcons!
Sticky Ribs Barbecue is a family-owned business located in Forney, Texas. We have all of your favorite smoked meats complemented with homemade sides. Take a bite of our mouth-watering barbecue, slow-smoked to perfection over Texas post oak on traditional barbecue pits. We offer full-service catering for any size event. Visit us at stickyribsbarbecue.com or on our Facebook page. That's Sticky with no C and Ribs with a Z. Contact us today and see what you've been missing. Sticky Ribs Barbecue. Get addicted. Your go-to for barbecue. You're listening to North Forney Falcons football on the Goonville Radio Network.
All right, Tim, as North Forney gets ready to kick this one off, let's go ahead and take a look around the rest of the district and see what those scores are.
Well, then, of Corsicana, the Ennis Lions and Corsicana Tigers are tied 9-9. Sulphur Springs is up on Kaufman 15-0. And out in Greenville's up 28-0 over the Jackrabbits, so it's not looking good for us out there.
Yeah, the help's not going to come from there. And the kick return only gets out to the 11-yard line. Michael Alfin on the return had nowhere to go. Again, well defended by the Falcons. And Tim, this is no shock to you, I know. This is by far the best game that North Forney has played, the best quarter that North Forney has played. Hey, this might be the best quarter they've ever played, ever. And I'm talking about 2017, ever.
Yeah, this is pretty dominant. I mean, a lot of the game left, but boy, this is impressive.
Keeper by Oliver. Oliver looking to break a tackle, gets thrown down after a gain of 4 on the play.
Now, Nemo's played really, really well the last few weeks out at his defensive end position or outside linebacker position. I didn't like what I saw there where he just kind of threw the quarterback forward as opposed to wrapping him up and bringing him down. That's when you start losing tackles.
And out to Dozier. Dozier's got some space to run this time. And he's going to be out across the 40-yard line and finally brought down right at midfield. So the Bulldogs finally show signs of life offensively with the big play. And that should, I would imagine, be the last play of the first quarter. We'll see if Royse City wants to get another one off. I don't think they're in too much of a hurry to get one. There's 10 seconds left in the game clock. They are lining up to run the play, though. 5 seconds left. They'll get the snap off. Oliver draws back, looking deep down the right sideline, and it's going to be well overthrown for the intended receiver, Michael Alfin. And that will bring us to the end of the first quarter, so we'll take a step away with the Falcons leading 28-0 against Royse City. But we do have a flag on the play, so let's wait and see. Nope, they're going to say this in the first quarter. I already knew that. You're listening to North Forney Falcons football on the Goonville Radio Network.
Your new Cadillac is as close as Musser Cadillac in Terrell. Musser's has been making great deals on new and pre-owned cars and trucks since 1962. And you're sure to get a great deal on a new Cadillac when you visit Musser's in Terrell. They also offer top-of-the-line automotive service by trained technicians with the most current diagnostic and repair equipment available. And they'll even offer you a free loan car while your GM car is serviced. Visit Musser Cadillac today for your new Cadillac or quality pre-owned vehicle. Musser's is at 1212 Westmore Avenue in Terrell.
Our hometown Taco Casa is proud to support the outstanding programs of North Forney High School, the amazing staff, and great students. Taco Casa, right here in Forney, Texas, feeding hungry folks since 2010. Real fresh, real food, real good.
You're listening to North Forney Falcons football on the Goonville Radio Network.
Second down and 10 for Royse City. The 49-yard line of North Forney as we start the second quarter. We'll throw out into the flat, and this one's incomplete, and it was dangerously close to being a backwards lateral that went out of bounds. So that's going to bring up 3rd and 10 for Royse City. To start the second quarter, it's 28-0. North Forney leading Royse City. We have 3 receivers split out to the left in a bunch formation. Petroff, the tight end, to the right. Dozier, the running back, to the left of Oliver. We're going to set up a screen coming back to Petroff. Petroff being wrapped up and dropped in the backfield for a loss of 5 yards. DeMarcus Kirk all over it. And that will make the Bulldogs have to punt. I was going to say if they get a couple of yards even, they would probably go for it, being in Falcons territory down by 4 touchdowns. But with a loss of 5, making it 4th and 15 back in their own territory, they will have to punt this one away, or at least bring out the punt team.
Yeah, that was just really well defended. The Falcons had more guys there than they had blockers, and he was able to get in, get through, and make the tackle.
Nice high punt from Petroff. This one's going to bounce back and finally go out of bounds at the 27-yard line. Tim, another check around the district for the rest of the scores. Did I put you on the spot too much?
No, you didn't.
Okay.
I was actually checking something else out, but
no, you
Sulphur
can't do that.
Springs.
Don't
Sulphur
check anything
Springs
else
is 5:50 left in the second. Sulphur Springs is up on Coppin, 15-0. Ennis and Corsicana still tied at 9 with 8:52 left in the second quarter. In Greenville, it's 35-0.
Wow, they're not getting the help there.
No.
The pass from Acuna goes off a defender's hands at the line of scrimmage and falls incomplete. Bring up 2nd down and 10 for North Forney. 11:15 to play in the second quarter. North Forney leading 28-0. The low snap, Acuna picks it up, and he's going to be dropped in the backfield for a loss. That play never had hope of getting going. And it's going to be a loss of 4 on the play. It's going to bring up 3rd and 14. This is the same down and distance where Acuna scored a 34-yard touchdown earlier after he took off on the scramble. North Forney has 5 wide receivers, 3 split out to the right, 2 to the left. Acuna alone in the shotgun, drops back. They're going to set up a screen. It's caught by Boo. Boo makes one defender miss, but that's all. And the Bulldogs able to force North Forney to punt it back to them.
Yeah, that one didn't go anywhere quickly. They got pressure on them early, and then had enough guys out there to make that play. And so after 3 consecutive series of scoring.
When in North Forney, a team that runs the ball obviously a lot, they've gone with a different game plan tonight, and that's through the air. Rodriguez barely able to get this one off, and it's a high spiraling punt. It's going to be fair caught at the 43-yard line of Royse City. That was able to, a good job by Rodriguez in the midst of all that traffic around him, able to get off a really nice punt. No return.
Well, and we know that Royse City's offense can be explosive, and one of the things that you want to do is for the Falcons is you want to keep your defense off the field and keep them rested. 3 and outs aren't going to help, especially as the game wears on, because as we said, there's still a lot of time left, and we put up 28 in the first quarter. You don't want them to gain any momentum, and you don't want them wearing down your defense.
And you're not going to hold Royse City to 0 points for an entire game. Hand off to Petty Dozier. Dozier will fall ahead for a gain of 3.
And they play with pace, and that's going to wear a team out.
Another handoff this time to Petroff. Petroff with a bit of an edge. He cuts back up the field now, lowers his shoulder. He's got a first down inside the Falcon 40-yard line. I think it's why it's important for North Forney's offense to keep scoring too, because Royse City will eventually score at some point. This time Oliver keeps it, and Oliver only able to gain a yard out of it. That brings up 2nd down and 9. Looks like Taven Lee and Roderick Brown that time for the Falcons on the stop. Coming up on 9 minutes to play. Hand off to Petroff up the middle. He's met again. North Forney's defensive line and the linebackers have played very well tonight. They have not allowed a lot of open creases, and that's one thing. That was what Coach Jackson was concerned about. Saying, be disciplined, be disciplined. Don't get out of your spot to open up a bigger hole. And they've done a really good job tonight of keeping those holes small. 3rd and 8. So Sticky Ribs Barbecue, 3rd down, money down. Oliver rolling out, throws. It's incomplete along the sideline. Again, well defended. And Patrick Lacey was putting the pressure on Oliver, who has to slowly get up. And it's going to bring up 4th down and 8, and Royse City is keeping the offense out on the field.
You know, the first two plays where they picked up that yardage, they were not running right at the Falcons. They were sort of running off tackle. They were running at angles and creating those lanes, and they went away from that the first two, or after those first 2 downs. It really kind of surprises me. It's almost like they're almost outthinking themselves on that one.
A big 4th down here for the Falcon defense. Royse City needs 8, and we are going to get whistles. And it looks like a timeout from North Forney as they want to talk it over defensively. They'll talk it over. We'll take a step away right here on the Goonville Radio Network and SHN Sports.
Football season is in full swing. Elevate your game day experience with edible arrangements. Their fresh, handcrafted fruit is dipped in rich chocolate to create delicious, indulgent party platters. Visit the nearest edible location in Rockwall or call 972-771-6454. You can also check them out at edible.com. Be sure to mention the code word Goonville on your next order and receive 10% off. Let Edible help you win your next game day before it even starts.
You're listening to North Forney Falcons football on the Goonville Radio Network.
So big 4th down for the Royse City Bulldogs. So they are in Falcon territory, trailing 28-0 with 8:45 to play in the first half. Falcons defense looking to get another stop. Ball is at the Falcon 35-yard line. Royse City has 2 receivers to the left and 2 to the right. They're kind of stacked, each one of them behind each other. A tight end to the right side of the offense as well, and that's actually the quarterback, Tyson Oliver. They got a different quarterback in. Looking deep down the field, and it's incomplete. Well read and well covered by Donovan Holt. They're looking for a flag, and there's no reason for one. Well defended by Holt and overthrown Oliver anyways.
Well, and I think maybe that he may have gotten there a little early, but there's no way they're going to catch that ball. It was way overthrown.
And we got a flag on the play after the play is over from the ref on the Royse City sideline. So that's going to be 15 yards added to where North Forney will start. They tried, Royse City tried to sneak Oliver, the other quarterback, the starting quarterback. They lined him up at tight end. They came out of the huddle real quick, lined him up, and then they ran the play. And he just took off right down the seam, right down the middle of the field. And they got an unsportsmanlike conduct penalty against Royse City. It sounds like against one of the coaches. If there was contact, it was by no means egregious.
No. Like I said, I think he got there a little bit early, but there was just no way that ball was going to be caught regardless.
Wide receiver split out to each side for North Forney. Looks like they were getting back in that run formation. They've got the 2 tight ends in the game. Cam Allen and Artemis Talley, the 2 tight ends, 1 on each side. And Ty Collins, the running back. Kuna draws back, being pressured. He'll take off and run. Cuts up the field, and he's going to have a nice gain there. A play that looked like it was going to be a bit disastrous in the backfield. He's able to gain 7 out of it, down to the 43. A couple times tonight, the snap has been low. Kunis had to kind of readjust to it. Collins looking for space. He's got nothing going. North Forney not happy about the tackle, and we're going to get a late flag on the play. The whistles were already blowing, and they kept driving Collins back and finally drove him into the ground. So well after the play was over, North Forney catches a break, and they're going to get 15 yards out of it and another automatic first.
Yeah, that's one of those things where the whistle is blowing, and if they just push him back and maybe he falls, but that time they really did. They drove him into the ground, and that's, well, I would say that's going to get you a flag every time, but you really
you never know. As it stands right now, it was a 2-yard loss. And it really, this is, I'm assuming here because I haven't seen Royse City play any other game this year, not live anyways. But Royse City is not used this year to getting punched in the mouth this early, like this badly. 28-0 in the first quarter, and it's kind of really got them out of their game.
It really has. But the one thing that you see,
and we got whistles at the start of this play. It's going to be a timeout from Royse City, but instead of taking a step away, we'll stay right here because there's a lot to talk about. With that play got blown dead, and it looks like North Forney was trying to run something tricky as all the linemen just dropped to their bellies. And so that's probably going to be a play that we'll see later on in the game they'll come back to.
Yeah, I was looking at, I don't know if it was last week's game or it might have been last week's game for Royse City where, they were penalized, I believe, 10 times.
I thought it was 13.
13 for 129 yards or something like that. So, that's something that we saw early from the Falcons this season where penalties really kind of hurt them. And it looks like Royse City, one data set from last week's game, but they're right on pace for that right now. They've been penalized 4 times for 39 yards already.
Yeah, I was about to say a couple of those have been the personal fouls, 2 on this drive alone. Then they had that the chop block earlier in the game for a 15-yard penalty.
And actually, the stats just updated. That's 5 for 54.
Oh, good. That's even better. More yardage for North Forney. So Falcons had the ball at the 30-yard line of Royse City. 1st and 10. 7:53 to play in the first half. 28-0. Falcons leading. Kuna takes a snap. Rolls out to his right now. Throws back to his left. He's got a man wide open. It's Nick Booth. It's in the 5. Touchdown, Nick Booth. A well-designed play. Kuna kind of rolled out to his right. Nick Boo, who started on the right side of the offense in a bunch formation, came across all that traffic to the left side. They lost him in that traffic. Acuna stops in his tracks, throws back to his left. Nick Boo wide open about the 15-yard line. Then he's able to run it in the rest of the way from there.
And you know what, Wally, as a Seahawk fan who has watched Russell Wilson throw that ball to both Doug Baldwin and now Tyler Lockett, that really brings a tear to my eye to know that Seahawks play has made it to North Forney High School.
And you have to ask yourself, where's this been? Falcons looking like a team that could win district tonight. 35-0 against Royse City. I can bet you in all the chat rooms, this is not going over well with the Royse City fans.
Probably not.
Who probably come in a close second in saltiness to Kaufman fans.
Yeah. I'm going to let you continue to talk about that one. I'm just going to stay quiet. I didn't get one email.
I've already dug the hole,
I didn't get one email, one comment. I got nothing. You built a following. That's what you did.
It's taken a while, but here I am. Here we are. 7:46 to play in the first half. North Forney has jumped to a 35-0 lead over Royse City, the second-place team in the district with only 1 loss on the year. Unfortunately, the rest of the night around the district is not going North Forney's way, as it was 35-0 last time we checked in the Greenville game. They needed Greenville to lose, and they were up 35-0
It's 38 now
really,
at halftime.
You go ahead and turn the page to next week, hoping that Terrell can pull the surprise upset against Royse City to cause that 3-way tie and put them in there with Greenville. Rodriguez will kick this one away, fielded at the 7-yard line, and brought out from there by Damon Dozier. Dozier unable to make it out to the 30-yard line. Man, this has been the best performance from the Falcons defense all year. This has been the best performance from the Falcons offense all year. I mean, almost the best performance from the special teams if they had more chance to show it. They just haven't had, because they've moving the ball and scoring touchdowns.
Yeah, it's been a good game all around. And like you said, I mean, where has this been?
1st and 10 for the Bulldogs. They hand it off to Petty Dozier. Dozier's got the edge this time. Makes a move outside the 40-yard line, still on his feet. Cuts back at the 40-yard line, trying to pick up some blocks inside the 30, inside the 20. Stops, puts on the brakes, trying to cut back. Still on his feet at the 15-yard line. They're finally going to blow it dead, as there was just a pile. And a huge run there from Petty Dozier. We're going to keep the Bulldogs quiet all night. North Forney will try to keep them from scoring here. 3 receivers to the right, 1 to the left. Hand off to Dozier. We've got a flag on the play, and it looks like false start against Royse City.
You know,
the Falcons a chance to kind of catch their breath.
Yeah, and I noticed on that last play, Jules Dems, who's obviously had a great game and a great season, on that one he sort of bit inside, and the ball went out, and that's the kind of thing that hurts them, is when they try and do too much or try and read something that maybe isn't there and react to that instead of trusting themselves and trusting their eyes.
Well, I noticed that with Royse City, the way they ran the ball on film was a lot in between the tackles. But that hasn't worked against North Forney this year. It's been outside the tackles. Handoff again in between the tackles and going for no gain. And Dozier on the carry. And on the tackle for North Forney, looked like Taven Lee, who was slow to get up. But I think, if Royse City's smart, that they might make the adjustment to try some more of those outside runs, those zone plays, just kind of the jet sweeps, even with the running back or the receiver.
That and some of those slashing plays that they had some success with.
Dozier looking for the outside, being strung out, wrapped up by Kirk, and thrown down. LaMarcus Kirk all over at that time for a loss of a yard.
And that time he was trying to get outside without any protection out there, no blockers out there, and the Falcons did a good job of just continuing to string that out. Again, they're trying to get wide. They haven't had success with that. They're trying to go straight at them. Haven't had success with that. When they're running kind of a slashing style, that's where they're creating the lanes. They're just not doing it right now. It's really playing into the Falcons' defensive hand.
A Sticky Ribs barbecue, third down, money down. That's a long one for Royse City. 3rd and 16. Under 6 minutes to play in the first half. Oliver takes a snap, rolls out to his right, being pressured. He's going to have to throw this one away, and over the head of the intended receiver, Michael Alphen. Oliver, every time they've run that play to the where he rolls out to one side or the other, usually to his right, North Forney's has it well covered downfield, and B, doesn't give Oliver the chance to take off. There's somebody chasing him down in his face. This has just been a masterful defensive performance the first quarter and a half. Again, a long time to play in this game. So far, so really good for North Forney. Looks like Royse City's going to attempt the field goal. This will be a 38-yard field goal attempt. He does have the ring, just saw him in warm-ups, knocking him down from here. It's a low snap, and they're not even get the kickoff. North Forney swallows up the holder in the backfield, and no points for Royse City. The Falcons still pitching the shutout.
It looked like he pulled up. Maybe the holder had trouble getting the ball. Of course, they're on the opposite. He's a right-handed kicker, a right-footed kicker, and so he was trying to. Our view was sort of obstructed by the holder there, but it looked like he pulled up, and when by the time the holder stood up to try and do something, he had 2 Falcons right on top of him.
Yeah, you don't know if maybe the kicker didn't feel right, maybe pulled something when he went to kick the ball, or twitched something, or if the holder was bobbling it trying to get it down and he just never followed through. Like you said, the holder was kind of covering it up. They run the swinging gate again. Acuna keeps it, and Acuna, after a gain of a couple of yards, actually a gain of 6, finally gets dropped. But there is a flag where the tackle happened. We might have a face mask against Royse City.
That's what it looked like.
And that's what Jeremiah Baker's saying. Hey, yep, move the chains. That's exactly what it is. Personal foul, face mask, 15-yard penalty. Under 5.5 minutes to play in the first half, 35-0, Falcons on top. They're in the swinging gate formation again. That means 2 linemen on the ball in the right hash with a tight end right behind them, so 3 right there on the ball. 1 receiver on the far right, and then the rest of the linemen out here to the left, outside the left hash with Ty Collins behind them. It's a low snap picked up by Acuna. Acuna waits for a block to develop and then shoots out the right side. He's got a first down as it stands right now, but there is a flag at the 45-yard line on the far side of the field.
I believe that's an offsides right there, because it looks like one of the linemen for Royse City jumped early.
Right now, they've spotted the ball right at the first down chain. Looks like they'll have to move the chains if that's the penalty on Royse City. Sure enough, it is offsides. And they're asking Coach Jackson if he wants to accept it. Obviously, he says no. Saying no. Now he wants to check. Say, hey, did we get the first down out of it? And they're saying, yeah, it's enough. He said, okay, let's move the chains. So North Forney now back into the regular formation. I say regular. They got a bunch formation of receivers to the left, and 3 of them on that side.
First down.
You got Shipley. Looks like Zach Tucker in the game as a receiver down here. So Zach Tucker, Colin Shipley, and DeJuan Johnson. I wonder if Royse City realizes that's Zach Tucker, the backup quarterback. Interesting.
Plot thickens.
First and 10 for North Forney. They're going to throw it back to Tucker. Tucker takes the pass. Now he wants to throw it back, and he's going to be pressured. And the ball's loose on the ground, and Royse City picks it up. They're going to say incomplete. I'm not sure what that play was. North Forney had 3 linemen way down the field on the far side of the opposite of where Tucker was. But I didn't see a receiver. I didn't see, was a Boo or anybody near those guys.
Well, it looked like he looked 2 or 3 places, then just started trying to run. And, ultimately it was a smart play to get rid of that ball, to throw it to in the area of Shipley. And instead of taking a 10-yard sack, just goes to an incompletion.
Well, I think they were trying to set up a screen going back to either Collins or Boo on that side. It kind of got blown up. Throw across the middle of the field to Cam Allen. Cam Allen still on his feet trying to shed a couple of defenders. We've got a 7-yard gain down to the 32. And that brings up a 3rd down and 3 for the Falcons. Falcons, they've smartly kind of figured out that they're not going to – Coach Jackson talked about this. They were kind of concerned about trying to run the ball up the middle against that front. And they throw complete right in the middle of the zone to Colin Shipley. Shipley's got a first down inside the 25, down to the 22. And instead of the Falcons just trying to be stubborn and run the ball up the middle like they might in other games, they have really opened it up and said, no, this is the weakness. Let's throw the ball. And they have executed it perfectly. Low snap. Acuna picks it up, squirts through the middle. Still on his feet, down to the 15-yard line. It was smart play there by Acuna. It's a low snap, and I think that's what Coach Jackson's upset about. Baker a couple of times has, a low snap back to the feet of Acuna, and once that happens, Acuna doesn't really have a chance to kind of come up and see where the play's at. Smartly, though, he doesn't sit back there and just wait for it. He takes off, he sees an opening, and gains 7 yards out of it. Acuna alone in the shotgun, drops back, being pressured right away, and this time goes down. It was Jamie Cortez, the all-district defensive lineman, blowing that play up.
And I think that may be what's affecting Baker is knowing that Cortez is right across from him and knowing how good he is and how really quick. I mean, you saw the quickness there where he just split through the middle there and went through the A gap and just Acuna didn't have a chance there.
Nearing 3.5 minutes left in the first half. North Forney facing a 3rd and 12 from their own 24. A couple yards and you got a false start on the Falcons. So moving along the defensive line, a shift along the defensive line, got the Falcons to jump.
Yeah, Jake Schwartz who's really played well. Got a little antsy on that one. And again, I mean, it's the pressure that Royse City can put on you.
I was about to say, if North Forney could gain a couple of yards, you'd feel really good about a field goal from Carlos Rodriguez. But now with it being 3rd and 18 or 17, I don't know if he feels good just getting a couple yards now, especially being up as big as you are. He might even try to punt, go for it, or just punt it into the corner. Acuna looking deep down the field. He's got Nick Boo off the fingertips inside the 5-yard line. That had touchdown written all over it.
Very catchable ball and a great play, great route, great throw. Just didn't make the catch on that one.
So that's going to bring up a 4th down and 17 for North Forney. Ball's at the Royse City 29-yard line. It's probably on the just outside field goal range. But then you're really too close to punt. But then again, it's 4th and 17.
Well, and I think, say you pick up 8 or 10 yards here, you still make it a long field for them, and I think that's kind of what they're looking at.
Acuna in the shotgun, takes the snap, fakes the handoff, drops back. He's got some time. He looks for DeJuan Johnson. He catches it inside the 12-yard line. They need the 12 for a first. It depends on which ref they go with. And they're going to give him the first down. What a huge 4th down completion on 4th and 17. They complete it to DeJuan Johnson, who's his first reception of the night. Royse City's coach is out near the numbers, yelling and pointing, saying, no, he was back here. But when he caught it, he was definitely at the 12-yard line.
And I'm not sure how he would know where that.
And actually,
where
they're going to bring the
reception-
chains out, too, for a measurement. They had already ruled it a first down, but now they're bringing the chains out.
Considering he's got to be back in the box at the 25, I'm not sure how he knows where that ball was caught, seeing as it was also on the other side of the field.
Well, they're going to say North Forney didn't get it. And if you could replay or review in high school football, this would be reviewed because I'm pretty sure he had that. He caught it right at the 12. It's really close. Obviously, we don't have the best vantage point of it. But a missed opportunity there for North Forney. They come up inches short, maybe about a foot short of not only keeping that drive going, but really with a chance to go up 42-0.
But again, they've pinned him back. They're back at the 12-yard line, and the defense now is rested. That was a long drive for the Falcons, and the defense just has to keep playing like they've been playing.
So the Bulldogs with another chance. They'll take over at the 12-yard line, just outside, obviously, the 12-yard line. Oliver keeps it up the middle. He's met by Ethan Monaco, and a gain of just 2 on the plate. Under 3 minutes to play in the first half. Falcons up 35-0. Royse City, 2 receivers to the left, 1 to the right. And he also got a tight end on that right side as well. Petty Dozier has been the main running back all night long. To the right of Oliver in the shotgun. And they're going to throw it out to the left, setting up a wide receiver screen. And a nice open field tackle there. Let's see who that is. That
looks
actually,
like Stewart.
Yeah, Stewart.
Amari Stewart.
That's going to bring up a Sticky Ribs Barbecue third down, money down, 3rd and 2 from their own 20-yard line for the Bulldogs. If they don't get it here, North Forney has plenty of time to try another attempt at a touchdown. 2 minutes left in the game, or 2 minutes left in the first half. 3 running backs in the backfield. They hand it off to Petrov up the middle. He's got the first, trying to spin away from Holt. Gets brought down just outside the 30-yard line, and the Bulldogs able to move the chains on 3rd and 2.
Yeah, a little surprised that Coach Jackson wasn't using any timeouts there to stop the clock. And if you do get the stop there, then, of course, they would have been pretty close.
Another handoff to Petrov. Gets across the 35. Yeah, I bet if they would have stopped them on that play, he calls a timeout. Now he looks a little bit smarter not having called those timeouts. With them now, the clock's still running at 1.5 minutes, really keeping Royse City from getting down the field in time to score a touchdown. Of course, at halftime, we'll talk. As soon as the halftime comes up, we'll talk about the first half, and then we'll listen in on the North Forney band, who, as Dozier gets dropped for a loss of almost 2 yards on the play, that North Forney, those at the Pride of Falcon Nation band, qualified for state this past weekend, so they'll be going to the state finals down in San Antonio. So we'll let you listen into their halftime performance after we talk about this drubbing so far in the first half. 3rd down and 5. Now it looks like both coaches content with going into the half with it being 35-0. Bulldogs finally run a play. 3rd and 5. Oliver drops back, trying to set up a screen. It's caught by Dozier. Dozier at the 40-yard line. We got a flag on the play, and we'll have to see what this one is.
I've got to
it's
believe
near where the pass was caught.
Yeah, I think that was an eligible man. He had 3 3 linemen downfield on that.
And Petty Dozier slow to get up. He's helped up. Oh, no, he's not helped up by a teammate. He's going to stay down. He had a lineman who were way out in front of him. He caught the ball.
There is no foul for ineligible downfield. The pass was first touch at the line of scrimmage. Result of play, first down.
So they're going to say that the pass was deflected or touched at the line of scrimmage. He threw that about 18 feet in the air.
Yeah.
There was nobody could have touched that. He lobbed it.
Again, let's go to the review on that because yeah, that ball, I'm not sure what they saw that led them to believe that was tipped, because it was he put it up and over the line.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah.
So the Bulldogs have a first down after that. Ball at their own 44-yard line. First and 10. 33 seconds with the clock running. Oliver drops back. Now being flushed out of the pocket to his left. He'll have to turn and throw, but he won't throw. He breaks out of the tackle, still on his feet, and then finally steps out of bounds after gaining maybe a yard on the play. It was a very eventful 1-yard gain.
Yeah, it wasn't, but the Falcons, they need to bring him down in that situation. Those are the type of tackles that they've missed that have come back to hurt them. They didn't hurt them this time. He went out of bounds, but at the same time, it stopped the clock.
20 seconds left. Second down and 9. Ball at the Bulldog 45. Oliver takes a snap, rolls out to his right, being pressured. Eludes that defender, then launches one down the field. He's got a man. It's off and catches it inside the 20-yard line and steps out of bounds. It was a good job there by Oliver to get away from the original pressure. Falcon had him dead in the rights. I thought it was Patrick Lacey maybe. And then make the pass all the way down the field. 13 seconds left. 40. No, they're not going to want Royse City to score a touchdown at the last moment.
They just can't let somebody get behind them, and with Royse City coming out and getting the ball first in the second half, they can't allow them to score here.
Hand off to Dozier. He's got a lot of space on that outside. Dozier inside the 5, and Dozier with a touchdown with 7 seconds left in the first half. As amazing of a first half this has been all around for North Forney, that's one that you just would rather not have given up.
Well, that's what I was talking about. You look at the second half. They come out. If they score in the second half, then all of a sudden you're kind of back in.
You're in a game.
You're in a game, and that's something that, as dominant as the Falcons have been, that's not where you want to be with this team.
The extra point kick is up and good. 7 seconds left. Falcons still leading 35-7 on the Goonville Radio Network.
Your new Cadillac is as close as Musser Cadillac in Terrell. Musser's has been making great deals on new and pre-owned cars and trucks since 1962. And you're sure to get a great deal on a new Cadillac when you visit Musser's in Terrell. They also offer top-of-the-line automotive service by trained technicians with the most current diagnostic and repair equipment available. And they'll even offer you a free loan car while your GM car is serviced. Visit Musser Cadillac today for your new Cadillac or quality pre-owned vehicle. Musser's is at 1212 Westmore Avenue in Terrell.
Our hometown Taco Casa is proud to support the outstanding programs of North Forney High School, the amazing staff, and great students. Taco Casa, right here in Forney, Texas, feeding hungry folks since 2010. Real fresh, real food, real good.
You're listening to North Forney Falcons football on the Goonville Radio Network.
I'm going to go ahead and say that I imagine we see an onside kick here from Royse City. With 7 seconds left, the chances of North Forney, even if they get the ball near the 50-yard line, scoring on the next play is probably pretty slim. See if Royse City does try to attempt an onside kick. It's going to be squibbed down the middle. It's kind of half right. Picked up by North Forney. Nick Boo looking to try to make some moves. Steps out of bounds with 2 seconds left at the Falcon 35.
I go back to that play where we had the quarterback dead to rights in the backfield, and he escaped, got out of bounds. That stopped the clock. If they sack him there, then they're rushing to get a play off. They don't maybe run that same thing, or if they do, once they make the catch, it's just a whole different ball game there.
Well, North Forney looks like they're going to just take a knee with this one and get to the half up 35-7. Kuna takes a snap, takes a knee, and we will go to halftime. We'll be back after this. We'll talk about the first half, and then we'll listen in on the Pride of Falcon Nation band. You're listening to North Forney Falcons football on the Goonville Radio Network and SHN Sports.
Sticky Ribs Barbecue is a family-owned business located in Forney, Texas. We have all of your favorite smoked meats complemented with homemade sides. Take a bite of our mouth-watering barbecue, slow-smoked to perfection over Texas post oak on traditional barbecue pits. We offer full-service catering for any size event. Visit us at stickyribsbarbecue.com or on our Facebook page. That's Sticky with no C and Ribs with a Z. Contact us today and see what you've been missing. Sticky Ribs Barbecue. Get addicted. Your go-to for barbecue.
Hey Falcons fans, are you looking for a local streamlined real estate experience? I'm John O'Finkenbeiner with Exalt Realty, and in my 12 years in real estate, I have perfected the art of keeping the process of buying and selling simple and easy. Whether it's a buyer's or a seller's market or somewhere in between, make sure you call me, John O'Finkenbeiner, where real estate is made easy at 469-556-8392. Go Falcons!
Football season is in full swing. Elevate your game day experience with edible arrangements. Their fresh, handcrafted fruit is dipped in rich chocolate to create delicious, indulgent party platters. Visit the nearest edible location in Rockwall or call 972-771-6454. You can also check them out at edible.com. Be sure to mention the code word Goonville on your next order and receive 10% off. Let Edible help you win your next game day before it even starts.
Our hometown Taco Casa is proud to support the outstanding programs of North Forney High School, the amazing staff, and great students. Taco Casa, still the same since 1972. Real fresh, real food, real good.
Your next new car is waiting for you at Musser Chevrolet in Terrell. Musser's has been in business since 1962, making great deals on new and pre-owned cars and trucks. They also offer top-of-the-line automotive service by trained technicians with the most current diagnostic and repair equipment available. And they'll even offer you a free loan car while your GM car is serviced. Visit Musser Chevrolet today for your new Chevrolet or quality pre-owned vehicle. Musser Chevrolet is at 1212 Westmore Avenue in Terrell.
You're listening to North Forney Falcons football on the Goonville Radio Network.
It's halftime here at Citibank Stadium. The Falcons leading 35-7 over the Royse City Bulldogs, the 7-1 Royse City Bulldogs. And Tim, this has been, the stats. If you just look at the box score outside of the score, it looks like a pretty even game. Royse City 260 total yards, North Forney 296. But really, if you're here watching the game, this has been domination from North Forney. They have forced Royse City off the field over and over and over after punt after punt after punt. And then on the offensive side, North Forney has done a really good job of keeping the chains moving and not on their typical ground game. And a couple of times, and I want to start out with the offense because that's, I have been is equally impressive with the defense. But I've seen the defense do this at times this year. But the offense, the way that they've moved the ball is something I don't think we really have seen a whole lot this year. And we've seen it. One of the formations they've done is the swinging gate, which means two linemen on the ball, the rest of the linemen on the other side of the field. And Royse City just obviously wasn't ready for that. And it's a wrinkle that North Forney came out with and really used to their advantage. The other thing that I've done a lot of that has been effective is the 5 wide receivers. Acuna alone in the shotgun. They spread everything out and they really kind of pick them apart with that. Those two formations right there have really done a lot of damage for North Forney tonight, and it's been fun to watch.
The word that just came to mind is precision. They have been extremely precise. You had one ball go off of Nick Boo's hands that probably would have been a touchdown. You had a ball that essentially slipped out of Acuna's hand on a throw. But other than that, boy, especially some of those slant routes and some of the things that they're doing where Acuna gets it, starts moving, and then as the defense reacts, he'll pop it over the top. It's been a lot of fun to watch. And you look at it, and Acuna's 11 of 15. This is a guy that comes in at 48% for the season. He's at 75% right now for the game with 196 yards, which is about what he's averaging. It was probably more than he's averaging in one half, more than what he's averaging on the season. So it has been a lot of fun to watch, and they haven't had to rely on Collins, and just again creativity and precision is what I'm seeing out there.
How crazy would you have called me if I would have told you tonight that Jacob Acuna would be the leading rusher for North Forney, and Collins is completely healthy, and it's not even close? How crazy would you think I am?
About as crazy as you are, but that's the two are mutually exclusive, really. But it's just you can just see the confidence that Acuna's playing with, and this looks like it is a game plan that really it's worked out really well for him. He looks very comfortable in it. There is no hesitation when he takes off running. He looks really, really good out there tonight.
Acuna does look sharp, and like you said, this is probably the sharpest he has looked. He is so decisive. He's got 9 carries for 92 yards on the season and 2 touchdowns. Ty Collins, 5 carries, 8 yards. Royse City coaches knew. Everybody, if you follow Royse City, you watch Royse City, they've got a very stout front four that can really dictate the game. And instead of North Forney trying to run into that, run their head into that over and over and over, like their offense is kind of predicated around. They love to run the ball, and usually it works out really well for them. They knew it was going to be tough to do tonight, so what do? Instead of doing that, they said, hey, we're going to spread it out. We're going to run some wacky stuff. We're going to throw the ball because we've got a pretty talented quarterback. We've got some really talented wide receivers, and a pretty good tight end as well, and a running back that can even do some stuff in the passing game. Let's use those guys. And Royse City has had no answer for it, and that's why they're up 35-7.
That's right. And you got to think about it. Royse City has 8 games worth of film to look at to see the Falcons kind of doing the same thing over and over, just trying to push that middle. And, well, again, that is, as you said, that's the strength of their team, right up the middle with those defensive linemen and those really active linebackers. And so North Forney's saying, okay, well, you know what? We know you think we're going to do that, so we're going to do something completely different. And it has really thrown off Royse City. And the thing is that they're running so many different plays out of so many different, out of those formations that it's hard to know where that ball is going.
Well, and they spread, like you talked about, they spread it around. Nick Booth, 5 for 107, 2 touchdowns. He dropped another one inside the 5 that would have been a touchdown on a big third down. Cam Allen, 2 catches, 57 yards. DeJuan Johnson, 2 catches, 26 yards. Colin Shipley, a catch for 10 yards. They even tried they've tried a couple of trick plays, which I really like. We knew they were going to have to do something like that. The way that they've been able to spread it around, like you talked about, it just keeps Royse City from being able to key in on one guy. And I guarantee you, they were coming into this game saying, hey, if we stop 21, if we stop Ty Collins, we're going to win this game pretty easily.
Well, and you know what? We've talked about being one-dimensional frequently on the pregame shows and at halftime. And, and if you can shut something down and force a team to do something that they're really not comfortable with, it presents a challenge to that team. So you think about it, and Ty has just been so dominant all year long that you got to figure if you shut them down, or if you shut Collins down, you've got a pretty good chance of being in the game. And I don't think just like you said, I'm not sure that anybody expected Acuna to be the leading rusher and really to be throwing the ball as well as he has.
Well, let's take a quick step away. When we come back, we'll finish up the halftime show, and then we'll listen in on the Pride of Falcon Nation band as they come up here in just a few moments. You're listening to North Forney Falcons football on the Goonville Radio Network.
Sticky Ribs Barbecue is a family-owned business located in Forney, Texas. We have all of your favorite smoked meats complemented with homemade sides. Take a bite of our mouth-watering barbecue, slow-smoked to perfection over Texas post oak on traditional barbecue pits. We offer full-service catering for any size event. Visit us at stickyribsbarbecue.com or on our Facebook page. That's Sticky with no C and Ribs with a Z. Contact us today and see what you've been missing. Sticky Ribs Barbecue. Get addicted. Your go-to for barbecue.
Hey Falcons fans, are you looking for a local streamlined real estate experience? I'm John O'Finkenbeiner with Exalt Realty, and in my 12 years in real estate, I have perfected the art of keeping the process of buying and selling simple and easy. Whether it's a buyer's or a seller's market or somewhere in between, make sure you call me, John O'Finkenbeiner, where real estate is made easy at 469-556-8392. Go Falcons!
Football season is in full swing. Elevate your game day experience with edible arrangements. Their fresh, handcrafted fruit is dipped in rich chocolate to create delicious, indulgent party platters. Visit the nearest edible location in Rockwall or call 972-771-6454. You can also check them out at edible.com. Be sure to mention the code word Goonville on your next order and receive 10% off. Let Edible help you win your next game day before it even starts.
Our hometown Taco Casa is proud to support the outstanding programs of North Forney High School, the amazing staff, and great students. Taco Casa, still the same since 1972. Real fresh, real food, real good.
Your next new car is waiting for you at Musser Chevrolet in Terrell. Musser's has been in business since 1962, making great deals on new and pre-owned cars and trucks. They also offer top-of-the-line automotive service by trained technicians with the most current diagnostic and repair equipment available. And they'll even offer you a free loan car while your GM car is serviced. Visit Musser Chevrolet today for your new Chevrolet or quality pre-owned vehicle. Musser Chevrolet is at 1212 Westmore Avenue in Terrell.
You're listening to North Forney Falcons football on the Goonville Radio Network.
Back back here at the halftime show. It's Wally and Tim for North Forney Falcons football as the Falcons lead 35-7 over the Royse City Bulldogs. The Bulldogs will get the second half kickoff to start things off. We talked about Jacob Acuna and his impressive performance in the first half and the receivers. Let's flip over defensively for the Falcons. We talked about how good Acuna was, 11 of 14, 196 yards, 2 touchdowns. Oliver came into this game passing for completing over 70% of his passes for 1,200 yards, 9 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. So far tonight, he's only completed 6 of 13. That's 46% for 50 yards, no touchdowns, and 1 interception. The very first play that Royse City ran, I say very first play, it was the second play. Or was the first play? Yeah, second play that they ran. They tried to set up a screen. DeMarcus Kirk was all over it, picked it off, ran it back 53 yards for the touchdown. They've really made it difficult for Oliver. There's been very few open receivers down the field. They had one late to Alphen, who then they ended up scoring after that play that kind of cost North Forney. Other than that, though, they've put a lot of pressure on Oliver. He hasn't had clean pockets. They try to roll him out sometimes. Every time they do, he's having to either get away from the pressure or throw it away and get knocked down. Every time he's dropped back, North Forney has put pressure on him, and that's why he's only completed 46% of his passes tonight. No touchdowns, and interception for 50 yards.
Well, and you look at that first series, and it was 2 plays. The first play was a run that was a loss, and the second play was the interception that went for the pick 6, and that really set the defensive tone, I think. And I think it gave the Falcons the confidence that they really needed, that they could play defense against this offense. And that's an offense that puts up 30 points a game and puts up a ton of yards, but they, with the exception of that last drive, they really shut them down.
Well, the one bright spot for Royse City has been the running back Amon Petty-Dozier. Petty-Dozier on the year averaging 8 yards a carry. Well, he's doing that again tonight, almost 10 yards a carry. And a lot of that, though, has come from that one big play. I think it was about a 60-yard play where he was really all him, too. Started out around the left side, broke a couple of tackles over there, and then reversed it all the way back around the right side of the field and set Royse City up in good field position that they didn't capitalize on. But he's got 16 carries for 158 yards and a touchdown. Petrov, 9 for 49 with no touchdown. So it's given pretty much it for Royse City. And again, we've touched on the passing game. The receivers, Michael Alphen, 4 catches, 36 yards, and that's been about it. Petty-Dozier, 1 catch for 8 yards, and Joseph Morales, 1 catch for 6 yards. We talked about this. It's two-sided. And, sometimes it's kind of the what came first, the chicken or the egg type deal. Is it good coverage that causes the pressure, the sacks and stuff, or is it the getting pressure on the quarterback that kind of helps out? You don't see, the completed passes on the receivers. Tonight, it has been both. Anytime that Oliver's rolled out or he's dropped back, there's been nobody open downfield, and so he doesn't really have anywhere to throw it. But then every time he drops back, he's having to roll out or be flushed out. And it helps him not be able to sit in the pocket and have really good throws to make for the most part. And it's been a well-rounded defensive effort from the Falcons tonight.
I agree. I mean, it's been really complimentary between the defensive line and the secondary there, where, they're getting a lot of pressure, and they're getting a lot of pressure right up the middle. And then, so if he's looking downfield, he's just not comfortable back there, doesn't have time to set up or find a receiver that might be breaking open. And when he is looking downfield, the Falcons secondary has everybody kind of blanketed, and he has nowhere to go with it. And it's they've put him in a really difficult spot. The defense is really playing well, getting a lot of pressure up the front or up the middle. And the other thing that I like seeing is that when they're trying to go wide, which has been a challenge for the Falcons this year, the Falcons are doing a really, really nice job of just stringing it out. They maybe give up a yard or two, but they're not giving up that big play on the edge there.
Well, there's still a lot to be played, obviously, and Royse City will get the ball to start the second half. So if they were to score a touchdown, it's only a 3-score game at that point. I think the key for me for North Forney to be able to hold on to this and get this win tonight is that they need to stay aggressive. And we'll ask Coach Jackson about that here in a couple minutes when Ayanna catches up with him on the sideline. But, I don't want them, usually when you got a big lead, later in the game, you want to try to ice the game, run out, milk that clock and run out the time or running the ball. Well, we've seen the few times that they've tried to run the ball up the middle, it has not worked at all. And so I don't want them to get caught up in, hey, let's try to run that clock out. Then they start stalling out. Then they lose their rhythm and, what has worked so well. I want them to stay aggressive by spreading the ball out. That has been what has worked for you And until Royse City says, hey, we've got an answer for that, I would continue to spread the ball out. I'd continue to run some wacky formations. And if they stop that at that point, cool, that's a good story. But until then, let's keep doing that. Don't settle for the run game to try to milk the clock away.
Well, and I think you saw that even later in the second quarter there, where you think, okay, well, you're up 28, and maybe you're going to just kind of slow things down. But they kept up the pace, they kept the aggressiveness. They showed they maintained that creativity, and they kept pushing the ball. And I think that's what you got to see. I mean, what the heck? It was 4th and 15. They picked up 14 and 9/10 on that and turned the ball over on downs. But they also put the Bulldogs down in deep in their own territory. Now, I mean, it came back to that the Bulldogs ended up scoring on that drive. But the reality is, if you can keep the pressure on them and you can keep pushing the ball, that's also going to keep the clock running. And that, at this point, is what you really want to see.
Well, let's take one more quick step away, and when we come back, we'll listen in to the Pride of Falcon Nation band right here at Citibank Stadium. It's the Falcons 35, the Bulldogs 7 at halftime. You're listening to North Forney Falcons football on the Goonville Radio Network.
Sticky Ribs Barbecue is a family-owned business located in Forney, Texas. We have all of your favorite smoked meats complemented with homemade sides. Take a bite of our mouth-watering barbecue, slow-smoked to perfection over Texas post oak on traditional barbecue pits. We offer full-service catering for any size event. Visit us at stickyribsbarbecue.com or on our Facebook page. That's Sticky with no C and Ribs with a Z. Contact us today and see what you've been missing. Sticky Ribs Barbecue. Get addicted. Your go-to for barbecue.
Hey Falcons fans, are you looking for a local streamlined real estate experience? I'm John O'Finkenbeiner with Exalt Realty, and in my 12 years in real estate, I have perfected the art of keeping the process of buying and selling simple and easy. Whether it's a buyer's or a seller's market or somewhere in between, make sure you call me, John O'Finkenbeiner, where real estate is made easy at 469-556-8392. Go Falcons!
Football season is in full swing. Elevate your game day experience with edible arrangements. Their fresh, handcrafted fruit is dipped in rich chocolate to create delicious, indulgent party platters. Visit the nearest edible location in Rockwall or call 972-771-6454. You can also check them out at edible.com. Be sure to mention the code word Goonville on your next order and receive 10% off. Let Edible help you win your next game day before it even starts.
Our hometown Taco Casa is proud to support the outstanding programs of North Forney High School, the amazing staff, and great students. Taco Casa, still the same since 1972. Real fresh, real food, real good.
Your next new car is waiting for you at Musser Chevrolet in Terrell. Musser's has been in business since 1962, making great deals on new and pre-owned cars and trucks. They also offer top-of-the-line automotive service by trained technicians with the most current diagnostic and repair equipment available. And they'll even offer you a free loan car while your GM car is serviced. Visit Musser Chevrolet today for your new Chevrolet or quality pre-owned vehicle. Musser Chevrolet is at 1212 Westmore Avenue in Terrell.
You're listening to North Forney Falcons football on the Goonville Radio Network.
Back here at halftime at Citibank Stadium, the Falcons leading 35-7 over the Royse City Bulldogs. We're about to take a listen in to the Pride of Falcon Nation band as they are ready to perform, and they're going to state finals here in the next week. So we'll take a listen in. We'll be right back, and we'll hear from Coach Jackson after the performance from the Pride of Falcon Nation band on the Goonville Radio Network.
High School is proud to present the award-winning, state-bound Pride of Falcon Nation.
right, and that is the Proud of Falcon Nation band going to state, I believe, next week. Qualified, and for the first time, North Forney and Forney, both bands have qualified for state down in San Antonio. So why don't we take one step away, and when we come back, we'll hear from Coach Jackson as he catches up, as Ayanna catches up with him. We'll talk about that first half with him right here on the Goonville Radio Network.
Sticky Ribs Barbecue is a family-owned business located in Forney, Texas. We have all of your favorite smoked meats complemented with homemade sides. Take a bite of our mouth-watering barbecue, slow-smoked to perfection over Texas post oak on traditional barbecue pits. We offer full-service catering for any size event. Visit us at stickyribsbarbecue.com or on our Facebook page. That's Sticky with no C and Ribs with a Z. Contact us today and see what you've been missing. Sticky Ribs Barbecue. Get addicted. Your go-to for barbecue.
Hey Falcons fans, are you looking for a local streamlined real estate experience? I'm John O'Finkenbeiner with Exalt Realty, and in my 12 years in real estate, I have perfected the art of keeping the process of buying and selling simple and easy. Whether it's a buyer's or a seller's market or somewhere in between, make sure you call me, John O'Finkenbeiner, where real estate is made easy at 469-556-8392. Go Falcons!
Football season is in full swing. Elevate your game day experience with edible arrangements. Their fresh, handcrafted fruit is dipped in rich chocolate to create delicious, indulgent party platters. Visit the nearest edible location in Rockwall or call 972-771-6454. You can also check them out at edible.com. Be sure to mention the code word Goonville on your next order and receive 10% off. Let Edible help you win your next game day before it even starts.
Our hometown Taco Casa is proud to support the outstanding programs of North Forney High School, the amazing staff, and great students. Taco Casa, still the same since 1972. Real fresh, real food, real good.
Your next new car is waiting for you at Musser's Chevrolet in Terrell. Musser's has been in business since 1962, making great deals on new and pre-owned cars and trucks. They also offer top-of-the-line automotive service by trained technicians with the most current diagnostic and repair equipment available. And they'll even offer you a free loan car while your GM car is serviced. Visit Musser Chevrolet today for your new Chevrolet or quality pre-owned vehicle. Musser Chevrolet is at 1212 Westmore Avenue in Terrell.
You're listening to North Forney Falcons football on the Goonville Radio Network.
All right, we'll hear from Coach Jackson here in just a few moments. Tim, before we get started with the second half, as the Falcons lead 35-7 over the Bulldogs, what do you expect to see here in the second half? Does North Forney stay aggressive in this, or do they turn into a little bit of a shell and try to run the ball out?
No, I think they have to stay aggressive. They had success throwing the ball, moving the ball, but they were still able to kind of control the clock at the same time, and I think that's going to be important for them to do. As confidently as Acuna is playing right now, I don't think you take the ball out of his hands. I think you let him continue to do that until, as you mentioned earlier, until Royse City proves they can stop it. Until then, you just keep firing, and I think that's what they're going to be looking to do. I mean, that's what they had success with in the first half. I think they need to continue to do that in the second half.
This one kicked off, fielded inside the 15. Actually, it bounces and lands on the ground. Dozier able to take it out from there. Dozier with some room, and then finally gets brought down from behind by Donovan Holt, just past the 25-yard line. Falcons leading big, 35-7. They've scored the first 35 points of the game. And then frustratingly enough, the Bulldogs were able to score with 7 seconds left before the end of the first half.
Well, and you didn't want them to because, again, you wanted to go in with all the momentum into the halftime and come out with them thinking, okay, well, we're out of this game. But now, like you said earlier, I mean, one score and it's a 3-score game. They're right back in it.
And I didn't want them to score because I want all the points, Tim. And off to Dozier. Dozier didn't have much of a crease up the middle, but he's able to slip his way through for a gain of 5 out to the 32-yard line.
And as we were talking about in the halftime, I mean, Dozier's really run well when he has the hole. He just hasn't had the hole very often.
Him and Petrov both have had some pretty good runs. Another handoff to Dozier, trying to get the outside. Roger Brown lunging after him, able to string him along to the sideline, and then finally finished up by Jules Dimps after a gain of 1. That's going to bring up a Sticky Ribs Barbecue third down, money down. It'll be 3rd and 4. And it's a big third down here. You get a chance to get Royse City off the field on their first drive. Don't give them any momentum. You kind of keep your foot on the gas here. Hand off to Dozier. Dozier up the middle, wrapped up, but he spins near the first down marker. They're going to go ahead and say it's a first down. I would have liked to at least seen that measured, but okay.
Yeah, that was awfully close.
They didn't hesitate to measure earlier after they rolled it for first down.
Right.
So a first down for the Bulldogs. Oliver in the shotgun, running back to each side. This time he'll hand it off to Petrov. Petrov looking for a hole on the left side. He'll be ahead for 4 yards before he's driven back. That'll bring up a second down and 6 from the Bulldog 41. It's probably the best first half performance that I have ever seen from North Forney, especially considering the competition. We've seen them beat up on some lesser talented teams, but a team that came in was highly thought of as the Bulldogs, and to really just put it on them. They're out to Alfin. Alfin catches it and then goes down. Near a first down. Looks like he's got another set of downs for the Bulldogs. There's one thing we didn't see a whole lot from Royse City was the short, quick throws. We see him try to set up a couple of screens that didn't work, and then we saw him take a couple of shots downfield that rarely worked.
Yeah, and I think that's what they're going to have to do against that Falcons defensive line. They've been getting so much pressure. He's going to have to get rid of the ball quick.
Oliver keeps it. Oliver is going to be wrapped up and ridden down by DeMarcus Kirk after a gain of just a yard.
You know, and I noticed that I think DeMarcus might be spying him because I've seen him following him a little bit out there, and I think that's what you need against a guy like Oliver.
Well, and that really only works if your defensive line can kind of control that up front. You don't have to commit all those guys up front. Hand off to Dozier. Dozier with some room to run. He's got a first down, and they move the chains again.
And again, it's kind of that slashing diagonal run as opposed to going straight at the Falcons. They haven't had any luck with that, and they can't get outside because the Falcons continue to string it out. But when they're running it at an angle there, they're creating those lanes.
This time Oliver keeps it. Oliver's got room to run. Oliver's got a big gain, and Oliver's got a touchdown. So the Bulldogs, just like we talked about, they score the last touchdown of the first half. They score the first touchdown of the second half. And that time it was a big run play. So pinning the extra point. Falcons lead cut to 3 touchdowns. Ortiz on for the point after. And the extra point kick is through. 35-14. Falcons leading with 9:18 to play in the third quarter. You're listening to North Forney Falcons football on the Goonville Radio Network.
Our hometown Taco Casa is proud to support the outstanding programs of North Forney High School, the amazing staff, and great students. Taco Casa, still the same since 1972. Real fresh, real food, real good.
Your next new car is waiting for you at Musser Chevrolet in Terrell. Musser's has been in business since 1962, making great deals on new and pre-owned cars and trucks. They also offer top-of-the-line automotive service by trained technicians with the most current diagnostic and repair equipment available. And they'll even offer you a free loan car while your GM car is serviced. Visit Musser Chevrolet today for your new Chevrolet or quality pre-owned vehicle. Musser Chevrolet is at 1212 Westmore Avenue in Terrell.
You're listening to North Forney Falcons football on the Goonville Radio Network.
All right, before the kickoff, let's go down and listen in to Iona. She caught up with Coach Jackson coming out of halftime.
Thanks, Wally. I'm here with Coach Jackson. What do you have to do to stay aggressive offensively?
You know, we got to take what they're giving us, which is the passing game. They're good up front, like we talked about, so we're going to keep throwing as long as that's what they're giving us.
What's been to limit the Royse City's offense tonight?
You know, our guys have been disciplined. We've tackled pretty well and all until the last drive. We lost discipline, kind of stuff I talked about before the game, and so we're going to kick off with them, and this first drive is huge, not to give them any hope.
How impressed have you been with Acuna's performance tonight?
He's been great. I think he's 9 out of 13, and he's made good decisions. He's going to have to keep doing it.
Okay, thanks, Coach. Good luck on the half. Back to you, Wally.
Thank you, Iona. They tried Royse City tried an onside kick, but unfortunately they kicked it right to the North Forney shortstop on the baseball team. Aiden Anderson was able to scoop it right up. And the first play from the Falcons from their own 47-yard line is a handoff to Ty Collins. Good for a gain of almost 3.
Yeah, going back to that last drive, Wally, two things happened that we didn't want to see happen. Royse City came out and scored. Falcons also gave up a big play.
And Acuna is going to be sacked in the backfield. And that was John Klump, one of the standout defensive players for Royse City we talked about earlier. We talked about in the pregame show as making a difference. It's going to be a loss of 5, and it's going to make it 3rd down and 12 for North Forney. Royse City sending some pressure off the edges. They did in the first half, but really never got home. And we're going to get flags for a false start against North Forney. It'll be 3rd and 17. Not the start to the half you wanted to have. Almost the opposite of what happened in the first half. You give up a touchdown on the first drive from Royse City here, and then your first drive, you were gifted awesome field position at the 47, and you've only gone backwards. 3rd and 17. Kuna in the shotgun. Almost got Royse City to jump. And we're going to get flags on the play. And another false start penalty against the Falcons. Looked like this was the receiver on the far side of the field, Nick Boo. So it was 3rd and 17. Now it becomes 3rd and 22. Tim, do you have any 3rd and 22 plays in the playbook?
Yeah. I think you just try and chop it in half. You don't do anything that's going to cost your team, and then you punt it away and try and pin them back at this point. I think, this has been a real momentum switch to start this half.
Take the handoff, they throw, and this one looks like, again, just came out of the hand of Acuna's, or came out wrong from the hand of Acuna, and it falls short of DeJuan Johnson, who is ready to take the screen. So that brings up 4th and very long, and the Falcons will have to punt. Rodriguez on to punt. This is a dangerous situation for North Forney. Let's see if Royse City maybe brings the house. North Forney hasn't been the cleanest snap and punt team all year. A high snap. Rodriguez, again, just gets it off. This one's going to be a short, high punt. But it's going to take a nice North Forney bounce inside the Royse City 40-yard line. It'll be down there by the snapper, Zach Tucker. So 1st and 10 for Royse City from their own 40-yard line. Trailing now by just 3 touchdowns. 7:52 to play in the 3rd quarter. It's the last home game for the Falcons this year at Citibank Stadium. They go on the road next week to Sulphur Springs. Furthest drive at the Macon District play. They have to win tonight to keep their playoff hopes alive. And the fumble. There's a fumble on the ground. And I think Oliver was able to get back on top of it just in time. North Forney almost had another big defensive play. Royse City was in the pistol formation that time. They haven't run that at all tonight.
It's something you don't see very often from the Falcons. It looked like they brought either a safety or a corner on a blitz there and put a little extra pressure. I don't know if that had anything to do with the fumble or if it was just mishandled at snap.
Throw out on the left side. That one's complete for a decent gain outside the 45-yard line. And that'll make it a 3rd and 4. Sticky Ribs Barbecue, 3rd down, money down. And this will be a good time for the Falcons defense to get off the field. Be interesting to see if they were to stop Royse City here on 3rd down, if the Bulldogs would go for it. Momentum swinging back in the favor of the Bulldogs. Hand off to Dozier. Dozier up the middle, and he's gone for a touchdown. Nobody's going to catch him, and it's a 54-yard touchdown for Dozier, and things are starting to get a bit dicey here for the Falcons. (35-20) the score. Royse City on for the extra point. Dozier gets out in the open. Not too many guys are probably going to catch him. Extra point kick is up, and it's good at 35-21. Falcons still up by 2 touchdowns, but the lead has got cut in half. Less than halfway through the third quarter. We'll take a step away. You're listening to North Forney Falcons football on the Goonville Radio Network.
Football season is in full swing. Elevate your game day experience with edible arrangements. Their fresh, handcrafted fruit is dipped in rich chocolate to create delicious, indulgent party platters. Visit the nearest edible location in Rockwall or call 972-771-6454. You can also check them out at edible.com. Be sure to mention the code word Goonville on your next order and receive 10% off. Let Edible help you win your next game day before it even starts.
You're listening to North Forney Falcons football on the Goonville Radio Network.
(35-21), 7:10 to play in the third quarter. Wally and Tim here for Falcons football on the Goonville Radio Network and SHN Sports. Thanks to everyone for tuning in to this one, the last home game at Citibank Stadium this year. Falcons had a 35-7 lead coming out of halftime, and that has already been cut in half. It's 35-21. Royse City's had the ball twice in the third quarter. They've scored 2 touchdowns. North Forney has had the ball once. They've had a 3-and-out. It's a high, short kick. They called for a fair catch there by Nick Boo. I'll bring that out to the 25-yard line.
You know, and a couple of things that have happened there. I mean, obviously, you know, Royse City's cut the lead to 14, and they've done it pretty quickly. And that's something that the Falcons, I think, now they've got some real decisions to make. Are they going to try and keep the ball on the ground and keep the clock running, or are they going to stay aggressive? And you know, I think they have to stay aggressive, because when they get conservative is when they struggle a little bit, and they haven't shown the ability really to run the ball. You know, Collins has struggled against this front of the Royse City Bulldogs.
2 receivers to the left, 1 to the right. Ball's on the right hash. Tally, the tight end, to the left. They fake the handoff. The route wide. It's caught by Boo, and as he went to turn and run, he slips and falls. That could have been a bigger gain, but it's a gain of almost 5. It's a good first down chunk. Brings up 2nd and 5 for the Falcons. This time they hand it off to Collins. Collins sifting his way through the front line of defense. They will give him almost 3 yards on the play, and that's going to bring up a 3rd and a long 2. Falcons really need a first down here. Just, if anything, just kind of keep this momentum pendulum from swinging all the way in the favor of Royse City to get some of that back. 2 receivers to the right. Now there's a little bit of confusion, and Coach Jackson is going to have to call a timeout. He is not going to be happy. Timeout from the Falcons, and with that timeout, we'll take a quick step away right here on the Goonville Radio Network.
Your next new car is waiting for you at Musser's Chevrolet in Terrell. Musser's has been in business since 1962, making great deals on new and pre-owned cars and trucks. They also offer top-of-the-line automotive service by trained technicians with the most current diagnostic and repair equipment available. And they'll even offer you a free loan car while your GM car is serviced. Visit Musser Chevrolet today for your new Chevrolet or quality pre-owned vehicle. Musser Chevrolet is at 1212 Westmore Avenue in Terrell.
You're listening to North Forney Falcons football on the Goonville Radio Network.
Falcons having to call a timeout to make sure they got the right play here on 3rd and a long 2. Better make this one count if you've already used a timeout for it. Timeout could come in very handy later in the game. In the shotgun, it's a low snap. Acuna picks it up. We got flags on the play. We'll see who this is on. Again, the defensive line for Royse City moved right before the snap. And it may have got North Forney to jump, but they might say that Royse City. Nope, they're going to say a false start on North Forney, unfortunately. And it's a couple times now here in the second half that Royse City has just shifted the defensive line all to one side, either left or right. And when they do, it causes North Forney, the guys, to jump. They're actually going to call that on the center, Jeremiah Baker.
And that's the second false start this half. And, you know, again, I don't know if it's just the pressure of Cortez on his, you know, heads up on him or what's going on. but they can't afford those penalties.
Turns it into a 3rd and 7. Acuna drops back, throws way out, and it's over the head of DeJuan Johnson. And that's going to cause the Falcons to have to punt. All the momentum that North Forney had in the first half is completely gone, and the offense looks like a shell of its first half self.
Yeah, and again, I go back to the clock. I mean, we're not even halfway through the third quarter yet, and we're giving the ball back to Royse City.
Rodriguez able to get this punt off. It's a low, wobbly one. Bounce inside the 50. We'll see if it takes a North Forney bounce. And it gets picked up at the 41. Well, this game has definitely changed. And you can just feel it on the other side. The Royse City fans, the players, the coaches, they've all got the momentum behind them now. They didn't have it in the first half. Here in the second half, they've started to get the run game going. Falcons defense and the offense both a little bit rattled.
Well, and it goes back to what Coach Jackson said at halftime. It's all about discipline. I mean, the touchdown they scored on their last drive was about discipline, and so far this half, it's been about discipline.
Dozier, another space. He puts his head down and runs over Holt out across midfield down to the 45. A first down for the Bulldogs, and their offense is cooking now. Under 6 minutes to play in the third quarter. Falcons leading 35-21. City has found some rhythm. 2 receivers to each side. Petroff, the running back. Take the handoff, throw out wide. It's through the hands of his intended receiver. And that'll bring up 2nd down and 10.
You know, the Falcons were fortunate there that ball did go through the hands because he was wide open and looked to be turning before he had caught the ball, and he had space.
2 receivers to the left, 1 to the right. And tight end on that right side as well. Petroff still the running back. Falcons 3 down linemen. They do get the handoff to Petroff. Petroff gets dumped after a gain of a couple. 3 to be precise, and that's going to bring up a Sticky Ribs barbecue 3rd and 7. It's a 3rd down, money down from the Falcon 42-yard line. I'd imagine Royse City, this is 4 down territory for them unless something goes crazily wrong here on 3rd down.
Well, the way they've been running the ball, too. You know, they've got 2 downs to get 7 yards, and they've run the ball really well this half. And
in the shotgun is Oliver. Takes a snap, rolls out to his left, turns, throws near the sideline. It is complete for a first down to Petroff. First down for Royse City. 5 minutes left to play in the third. Take the handoff, the route wide, setting up a screen to Alphen. And Alphen gets pushed out of bounds after a gain of 5. Man, it just seems it's a different game all of a sudden. In the matter of seconds, it seems like.
It really is, and you know they're using that short pass and then the run, and it's kind of they're back to kind of their methodology that they've used all season long.
Oliver keeps it this time, and this time he gets met after a gain of just 1. Coming up in the hole to fill that this time was Ethan Monaco and DeMarcus Kirk. That brings up another 3rd down. This time only 3rd and 4 from the Falcon 26-yard line. Sticky Ribs barbecue, 3rd down, money down. 3 running backs in the backfield. They hand it off to Petroff. Petroff met right at the line of scrimmage. Roger Brown that time making a big play. They're actually going to dump him for a loss of 1. And finally, one of the defensive linemen for North Forney able to get off a block. It seems like they haven't been able to do that here in the second half. This time Brown does. He eats up Petroff for a loss of a yard. Makes it 4th down and 5 for Royse City. It's a big 4th down here at the Falcon 27-yard line.
And again, that was one where they just tried to go straight at the defense instead of trying to get an angle there. They've had success with the angle, but if they're, you know, kind of that slashing style, but if they're going straight at them, they haven't had much success tonight.
4th and 5. They fake the handoff. Oliver rolls out to his right. has a man. It's complete to Petrov at the 20-yard line. He's knocked out near the 15. Looked like LaMarcus Kirk was in coverage on Petrov, but then had to make the decision whether to come up and play Oliver or stay back in coverage. He came to play Oliver, and smartly he dumped it over the top to Petrov. Hand off to Petrov, trying to get the outside, and he gets tripped up in the backfield by LaMarcus Kirk. No gain on the play, and it'll bring up 2nd down and 10. Falcons defense would come up heroic if they can keep Royse City out of the end zone here. They can help themselves out, and they can help out their offense, who sputtered here in the second half as well. Petrov moves from his running back position into the right slot. Hand off to Petty Dozier. Petty Dozier with some room inside the 10, inside the 5, and gets wrestled down after a 1st down at the 4-yard line. Seems like those holes that weren't really there in the first half are getting bigger in the second half.
They are, and again, that was one where they run off tackle, and he just kind of hits it and then cuts back, and there's just too much room for him there.
Another handoff to Dozier. Dozier up the middle, pushing for the end zone, and he gets pushed back. He stopped at the 2-yard line. Under 3 minutes to play in the third quarter. We said in the first half, even as well as that first half was going for North Forney, getting up 35-0, that this was still a lot of time to be played in this game. And Royse City wasn't going to be held to 0. Well, so far they've got 21 points, and we're not even through the end of the third quarter. Hand off to Petrov. Petrov's in the end zone. The big Bulldogs score again. It's time to sound the alarm now if you're North Forney, because you are only up a touchdown after being up by 5 touchdowns with 7 seconds left in the first half. And here with still over 2 minutes to play in the third, that 5-touchdown lead is just a 1-touchdown lead. Extra point kick up and good. 35-28. North Forney leads only by a touchdown. You're listening to North Forney Falcons football here on the Goonville Radio Network.
Hey Falcons fans, are you looking for a local streamlined real estate experience? I'm John O'Finkenbeiner with Exalt Realty, and in my 12 years in real estate, I have perfected the art of keeping the process of buying and selling simple and easy. Whether it's a buyer's or a seller's market or somewhere in between, make sure you call me, John O'Finkenbeiner, where real estate is made easy, at 469-556-8392. Go Falcons!
Sticky Ribs Barbecue is a family-owned business located in Forney, Texas. We have all of your favorite smoked meats complemented with homemade sides. Take a bite of our mouth-watering barbecue, slow-smoked to perfection over Texas post oak on traditional barbecue pits. We offer full-service catering for any size event. Visit us at stickyribsbarbecue.com or on our Facebook page. That's Sticky with no C and Ribs with a Z. Contact us today and see what you've been missing. Sticky Ribs Barbecue. Get addicted. Your go-to for barbecue. You're listening to North Forney Falcons football on the Goonville Radio Network.
Short high kick. It's going to be fair caught inside the 20 from Nick Boo. Well, Tim, I would ask you if you got anything good to say, but there's nothing good to say right now about how this second half has started for North Forney. Their offense has been able to do nothing. Their defense has got Royse City into a couple of third downs and even a couple of fourth downs and just have not been able to get off the field. And there's just nothing good to say about this second half.
No, and, I don't know that I've ever seen a game in which there's been this kind of momentum shift this quickly. I mean, it was just right out of the half.
Kuna takes a snap, throws out. It's caught by DeJuan Johnson. Got a little screen set up for him. He'll get to the 30, but that's it. So a gain of 5 from North Forney. They're going with the empty back set now are the Falcons. And it seems like when they do that, Royse City sends pressure. 3 receivers to the right, 2 to the left. Kuhn in the shotgun takes a snap, facing pressure. They're setting up the screen to DeJuan Johnson, and it goes through his hands. It looked like it bounced off the back of Cam Allen and kind of hung in the air. Almost picked off. So it'll be 3rd down and 5. It seems like the Falcons are, they're obviously shell-shocked. And they were really dictating kind of the pace and in the rhythm offensively in the first half. In the second half, it seems like Royse City has flipped that on them. Kuna takes a snap, throws. It's caught by Collins. He's got some space to run. Outside the 40-yard line, near the 45. A nice design play there as they sent Collins out on a route. And Acuna put it in his lap right as he turned around for it. He didn't have any time to wait to throw that ball.
No, and Collins did a great job to get his hands on that ball.
Hand off to Collins. Collins with a stutter step, but then he's met after a yard gain.
Yeah, offensive line just really is not able to get any kind of push against that Bulldogs front four.
So that brings up 2nd down and 9, although they get the ball marked right at the line of scrimmage. Seems like a long 9, let's call it. Kuna takes a snap. Started to look right. Now he takes off, and he's going to get dumped after a loss of a yard. Actually, they're going to give him the line of scrimmage again. It brings up 3rd down and 9. This offense looks nothing like the first half offense the Falcons put out there. Royse City bringing pressure. This time they only rush 3. Collins looks, and that one is almost intercepted. Acuna did not see the linebacker over the middle, so he was looking for Shipley, and that's going to bring up 4th down. The Falcons will have to punt.
Yeah, and I haven't seen it all game, but that time the linebacker did drop into coverage as opposed to come in with pressure and stepped right into that lane and almost had the pick, and it looked like it was set up right. It just he just made a good play on it.
Rodriguez just does get this one off. Rodriguez thought he was ran into. I'm not sure there was enough contact to draw a flag. They don't throw one in the end. And the ball gets downed at near the 27-yard line, 28 almost. Bulldogs will start from their own 27-yard line. Just under half a minute to play in the first half, or in the third quarter, rather. And the Falcons clinging to a 1-touchdown lead. Bulldogs offense has scored on 4 straight possessions, scored touchdowns on 4 straight possessions. Hand off to Dozier. Dozier makes a move in the hole and then gets taken down after a gain of 6. Dozier's kind of taken over here in the second half. The way this is going, he's pushing over 300 yards. He had 156, I believe, in the first half. And off to Petrov. Petrov avoids the defender, lunges for the first down. He'll give it. And the Bulldogs again move the chains. That brings us to the end of the third quarter, and just like that, we've got a ball game. Falcons leading 35-28. We start the fourth quarter. You're listening to North Forney Falcons football on the Goonville Radio Network.
Hey Falcons fans, are you looking for a local streamlined real estate experience? I'm John O'Finkenbeiner with Exalt Realty, and in my 12 years in real estate, I have perfected the art of keeping the process of buying and selling simple and easy. Whether it's a buyer's or a seller's market or somewhere in between, make sure you call me, John O'Finkenbeiner, where real estate is made easy at 469-556-8392. Go Falcons!
Sticky Ribs Barbecue is a family-owned business located in Forney, Texas. We have all of your favorite smoked meats complemented with homemade sides. Take a bite of our mouth-watering barbecue, slow-smoked to perfection over Texas post oak on traditional barbecue pits. We offer full-service catering for any size event. Visit us at stickyribsbarbecue.com or on our Facebook page. That's Sticky with no C and Ribs with a Z. Contact us today and see what you've been missing. Sticky Ribs Barbecue. Get addicted. Your go-to for barbecue. You're listening to North Forney Falcons football on the Goonville Radio Network.
Royse City on first down to start the fourth quarter. The handoff up the middle to Petty Dozier. Dozier with just a gain of 2 on the play. Tim, you pointed out something with the Royse City offensive line in the break.
Yeah, it looks like that instead of trying to take them and push them up high, they're just diving right at their ankles and not letting the Falcons get any kind of push.
So thrown and complete to Alphen. Alphen has the first down. Well, he's near a first down. Depends on where they mark it. It might be just short.
Well, they marked it back half a yard, and then they're moving it up for a first down. I don't quite understand where.
Yeah, that was not. Jeez.
When it rains, it pours.
Hand off to Dozier. Dozier pushing the pile. Dozier will get a gain of 3. Cheerleaders trying to get the crowd into it, chaining the defense. And the Falcons can use all the help they can get defensively right now.
This is really
a bit gassed.
It's going to be a real test of character right here. I mean, you're up, you're feeling good, and then, the team gets the momentum and goes right back into it. Now, what's your answer to that?
Oliver drops back. He's got a man down the middle of the field. It's Dozier, and it's just overthrown. Dozier had a couple of steps on both defenders, Marcus Kirk and Donaldson. Oliver just not able to connect with them, and that's going to bring up a 3rd and 7. This is probably the best chance the Falcons have had to get Royse City off the field here in the second half.
Yeah, and on that one, it looked like it was just a blown coverage. LaMarcus Kirk kind of dropped back and then just kind of let him go. I don't think he recognized that he was getting behind him, or maybe he thought he was going to have help over the top. The help that wasn't there, and with Petty Dozier's speed.
Well, and they did a good job of slipping Dozier out of the backfield too, kind of a little bit of a wheel route, but just up the seam, kind of unaccounted for. 3rd and 7. Oliver takes a snap, hands it off to Dozier. Dozier looking for the outside, trying to get a block. He's got the block, and he's shoved out of bounds a couple yards short of the first, and it'll be a decision for Coach Petroff in Royse City.
Yeah, I don't think there's any decision here. You're in plus territory. You got 3 yards. You've been running the ball really well. Jacob Donaldson, who's been kind of in and out of the lineup after he's come back from his ankle injury, made a real good play to get off the block there and make that tackle.
The Bulldogs will keep their offense out there. It looked like the coaches were talking it over for a minute. Man, North Forney could use this turnover on downs. Dozier and Petroff both to each side of Oliver in the shotgun. There's a fullback back there as well. Demp shows blitz. One-on-one coverage on the outside on each receiver. They hand it off to Petroff. Petroff up the middle, and he's got a first down. Hard-nosed running from Petroff. And he's got just enough for a first.
Yeah, he's a tough runner. He doesn't have a lot of speed, but he's a big kid, and he hits the hole hard. Just a good run, and when you got 4th and 3, it's kind of what you're looking for.
And out of the middle, Dozier. Dozier gets hit first by Monroe, and then DeMarcus Kirk comes in to help clean up. Yeah, this North Forney defense, you can just tell they're a bit tired. Even though they weren't out there a whole lot in the first half, they have been out there a lot here in the second half. Petty Dozier's going to go to the sideline and catch a break. Dozier and Petroff, a nice 1-2 punch. It's kind of that thunder and lightning you hear so much about, the power and then the speed. And it's kind of good to have them both in the backfield together, and then you can hand it off to each one. They both offer something a little different.
Well, and it's also, a little bit of it presents a challenge for the defense.
Enough up the middle to Petroff. Petroff still on his feet. He's got enough for a first down inside the 30. They'll move the chains again. Jerome Collins comes on. Roman Rowe comes off. Bulldogs 1st and 10, and the Falcon 29. Petroff still the running back. He'll take another handoff. Follows his blockers inside the 25. Gets driven back from there, but he's got 5, and it'll bring up 2nd down and 5. The Falcons' offense, seems like if they ever get back out on the field, they just need to kind of get a drive going. Just get something. This defense, they need a break. You can tell they're down on a lot of the lines all down on a knee, and they're just kind of getting ran over here in the second half. Fake the handoff. Oliver drops back, throws. He's got a man in the end zone. Broken up at the last second. Jules Demps and Trey Barksdale both there in coverage. And that looked like it was going to be right down in the back of the end zone for a touchdown by Alfin.
Yeah, it looked like, Barksdale was beat. He had Jules Demps back there, but at the last minute, it looks like he jumped up and kind of tipped that one away. He closed really well on that.
It's a Sticky Ribs Barbecue, 3rd down and 5. Dozier back in the game at running back. Hand it off to Dozier. Dozier looking to get the edge, and he's going to get it. Turns up, fumbles the ball, but it's right into the hands of a Bulldog. Picked up and ran inside the 10-yard line. That ball got popped out, and it landed right at the feet of the Bulldog receiver. That was Joseph Morales, who said, hey, look what I found, and I'll run it for another 5 or 10 yards.
And that's kind of the way this half has gone for North Forney.
Oh, that would
make a good play, and
that would have been huge. Going to roll out to the right. Oliver's going to keep it. Oliver inside the 10 gets wrapped up and taken down. Really no gain on the play. I've said this a few times, Tim, and I feel like a broken record, but Falcons would do themselves some favors by keeping Royse City out of the end zone here.
Yeah, and on that that last run by Petty Dozier, there was one of the things that I noticed was he had a cornerback that came up and cut inside, and he just went right outside of him and picked up that yardage.
Petrov up the middle. It looked like he was going to burst through. I think it was Roderick Brown who was able to kind of get him around the waist and slow his momentum down. And that's going to bring up 3rd and goal from the 5. 7:20 to play in the game. 35-28. North Forney is absolutely clinging on to what once was a 35-0 lead. Enough again to Dozier. Dozier inside the 5, but not much more after that at the 4. 4th down and goal from the 4-yard line. And it looks like Royse City will bring out the field goal unit. And so in some ways, that is a big stop from North Forney, at least at the moment, keep Royse City from tying the game up.
And I understand why Royse City's doing this, but it just kind of surprises me that they are. I mean, this means a touchdown, and their defense has been playing really well. North Forney's offense hasn't been able to move the ball. But, boy, the way their offense has been moving it and their defense has been playing, if you pin North Forney back, I guess this is playing for the win instead of the tie.
Extra point kick is up and good. 35-31, North Forney leading. The defense does hold Royse City to a field goal. We're listening to North Forney Falcons football here on the Goonville Radio Network.
Our hometown Taco Casa is proud to support the outstanding programs of North Forney High School, the amazing staff, and great students. Taco Casa, still the same since 1972. Real fresh, real food, real good.
Your next new car is waiting for you at Musser's Chevrolet in Terrell. Musser's has been in business since 1962, making great deals on new and pre-owned cars and trucks. They also offer top-of-the-line automotive service by trained technicians with the most current diagnostic and repair equipment available. And they'll even offer you a free loan car while your GM car is serviced. Visit Musser's Chevrolet today for your new Chevrolet or quality pre-owned vehicle. Musser's Chevrolet is at 1212 Westmore Avenue in Terrell.
You're listening to North Forney Falcons football on the Goonville Radio Network.
Well, Tim, if you've gone to sleep already, you have missed a lot. If you went to bed saying, well, North Forney's got this one in the bag, shame on you. Because it's 35-31 with 6.5 minutes left to play in the 4th quarter.
Well, and if you made it to halfway through the 3rd quarter, you knew it was a game. And, now here we are almost halfway through the 4th quarter and 4-point ball game. I don't think anybody expected this.
Falcons defense was able to hold Royse City to a field goal. Kept him from at least tying the game by keeping him out of the end zone. But North Forney's offense has to do something on this drive. If they don't, it's just a matter of when Royse City gets into the end zone with the way that their offense has been moving in the second half.
Yeah, and the key here is really, whether they get points or not, the Falcons have got to move the ball on this possession and chew up some of that time. And they haven't shown the ability to run against that front of Royse City. So, at this point, I really don't know unless you're just going to let Acuna run. But even then, I mean, they've done a good job against him.
Throwing another screen, setting it up for Boo. It's a jailbreak screen. He can cut it to the outside, spins away from a tackle. It was a nice job to stay in bounds for a few more yards there. And then finally gets pushed out of bounds. We're going to give him 7 on the play out to the 37. And Royse City just, it seems like every play they'll bring pressure, and then maybe every once in a while they'll show that pressure and then back out. And North Forney's just been throwing screens to combat that. Another screen to Boo. Boo stepped out of bounds at the 45-yard line. We do have a flag on the play, though, and is in the area of holding. And that would be costly, and it sure is, holding against North Forney. A costly penalty. It seems like really the only play that North Forney can run right now is the screenplay.
Yeah, and you know, on that one, the flag came from somebody that was 20 yards away and behind where the hold was happening. So, you know, you wonder how he can see it, but he did, and that really hurts because it negates the first down, and it also stops the clock.
Well, thankfully, this is only a spot of the foul penalty, so instead of just backing it up 10 yards from where the down was, it does only make it 2nd down and 5 now. Kuna throws over the middle, caught by Cam Allen, breaks a tackle at the 50. At the 30, he's got one man to beat. At the 15, breaks that tackle, touchdown Cam Allen, and the Falcons strike big for a touchdown. Over the middle, Cam Allen with a big touchdown, and that's what a tight end looks like.
You know, and that was Cam just did a great job on that. You know, he made the catch, and then he's not the speediest guy in the world, and he was being closed in on and just broke away and it just made a great play. And you're right. I mean, that's, you know, and the great thing is that the tight ends on this team don't get a lot of play. They're mostly there for blocking, but boy, he made the most of his opportunity there and made a great play on that.
Extra point up and good. Falcons leading 42-31. You're listening to North Forney Falcons football on the Goonville Radio Network.
Hey Falcons fans, are you looking for a local streamlined real estate experience? I'm John O'Finkenbeiner with Exalt Realty, and in my 12 years in real estate, I have perfected the art of keeping the process of buying and selling simple and easy. Whether it's a buyer's or a seller's market or somewhere in between, make sure you call me, John O'Finkenbeiner, where real estate is made easy at 469-556-8392. Go Falcons!
Sticky Ribs Barbecue is a family-owned business located in Forney, Texas. We have all of your favorite smoked meats complemented with homemade sides. Take a bite of our mouth-watering barbecue, slow-smoked to perfection over Texas post oak on traditional barbecue pits. We offer full-service catering for any size event. Visit us at stickyribsbarbecue.com or on our Facebook page. That's Sticky with no C and Ribs with a Z. Contact us today and see what you've been missing. Sticky Ribs Barbecue. Get addicted. Your go-to for barbecue. You're listening to North Forney Falcons football on the Goonville Radio Network.
(42-31), 6:05 to play in the fourth quarter after a 65-yard touchdown pass from Acuna to Cam Allen. Cam Allen, a couple of really good things he did on that play. First of all, catching that pass over the middle in traffic. He just got his head around just in time, catch that ball in traffic, didn't break the tackle, and then break another tackle after outrunning the rest of the defenders. All the way for a touchdown. The way that, you know, what's interesting about that play, too, is the way the Falcons have struggled to run the ball. If he gets tackled at, let's say, the 10 or the 5-yard line, that's a pretty difficult touchdown to score against this stout defensive front from Royse City being with no room back there. Yeah, so the fact that he finished that play off for the touchdown was actually really crucial.
Yeah, it's a very different look when he takes it in versus trying to punch it in from, as you said, the 5 or the 10. You know, the only challenge here is it only took 24 seconds to score. Now the defense is back out there. They didn't get much of a rest. So, you know, you just hope that they got enough of a rest, and maybe they can make some adjustments here.
Hand out to Dozier. Dozier trying to get the edge. Dozier's got some room out across the 35, near the 40. Stays in bounds, but does have the first down.
You know, it looks like that Royse City's made some adjustments in their blocking scheme there on the outside, because they're able to get the defensive back turned to the inside, which is allowing him to get outside.
Hand off to Petrov. Petrov running behind his blocks and pushing the pile. He pushes it for a gain of 6. North Forney's defense, if they can just, if they can keep these plays here where it's 3, 4, 5 yards of play, that works in their favor with the time the way it is. This is not the time to give up a big touchdown run. Oliver drops back. Double move, looking deep down the field. Donaldson good in coverage. Interception by Jacob Donaldson, and it's a turnover for the Falcons. Donaldson, who has battled injuries this year, who said he was going to come out, he wanted 10 interceptions this year. He hasn't got close to that number because of injuries, but he comes up with the biggest interception of the season for North Forney.
Yeah, and he was just in perfect position, inside position on that, just read the ball. And, we saw that a lot last year from Donaldson, where he just read the ball and he was able to go up, high point it, bring it down. Great catch when he, holding on to it, coming down off, hitting the ground like that. And I know for a guy that has had a disappointing season, this is huge for him.
And he gets to put on the turnover chain. As North Forney on 1st and 10, the screen's incomplete. The Falcons have a chance here if they can move the ball down the field to either score a touchdown. I wouldn't say put the game away. I'm not going to say that. But really make it difficult for Royse City to come back. Anything but really a 3 and out goes well for North Forney. And again, Donaldson didn't bite on that double move either. They tried to double move, pump fake and everything, and he did not. He played great discipline in coverage.
Yeah, absolutely. As I said, he was running with the receiver and, eyes in the backfield. So he saw what was going on and just knew where that receiver was, and he had great inside position on him.
Acuna takes a snap, rolls, and he has to throw quickly to Boo. Boo looking for some blocks on the screen. What looked like a disastrous play that might go for a loss. Actually able to get 3 out of it, or 4 out of it. Makes it 3rd down and 6 for the Falcons at their own 29.
Yeah, Acuna had a little bit of trouble grabbing that snap, and, obviously that's a quick throw out there, and he just kind of flipped it out, and Boo, once again, made a great play on it.
5 wide receivers. They almost got Royse City to jump. Now they're going to move Cam Allen from right to left side and then move Collins out here as the right side receiver with Nick Boot. Acuna takes a snap. He's going to keep it all the way. He's got a 1st down. He's got a lot more across the 50. Down the 40. He's going to run away. The 25. 1 man to beat. The 10 to 5 touchdown. Jacob Acuna and the Falcons score again. On 3rd and 6, Acuna, an empty back set all by himself in the shotgun, keeps it all the way for a 71-yard touchdown run. Man, Acuna's got some wheels.
He does. And again, I'm just so impressed with the way he's running. He just looks confident, and I asked at the beginning of the game, do we want to get into a track meet with these guys? And I don't know that you want to do that every day, but boy, I'll tell you what.
That's just what it turned into at this point. We didn't think we were going to have to. We thought it was going to be a nice defensive shutout. You'd win big, like they had in the first half. But well, then it turned out to where you're going to have to start putting some more points on the board and go back and forth. And 49-31 the score for North Forney with 4:19 to play in the 4th quarter. Whoa! You talk about momentum swings. My body cannot take this.
No. I'm supposed to go somewhere after this, and I may just go home.
You need to either go home or go to the hospital. I might have to as well. Go get checked on. Make sure my heart's still pumping regularly. Wow, I've never been a part of a game that has had these kind of swings like this. I think back to the 2017 season here at this stadium against Wiley East. And it was back and forth, 70-63. What an amazing game it was. But it was nip and tuck all the way. This one was the opposite. 35-0 North Forney dominated in the first half. They give up a touchdown at the end of that first half. Still, you were thinking, man, this was utter domination. North Forney's cruising to a victory. They're up 35-7. All of a sudden, Royse City comes out in the 3rd quarter, scores 3 straight touchdowns. Then they cut the lead to 35-28. Then they come down and get a field goal. But then after that, North Forney's able to get 2 touchdowns. They grab an interception in between that, 2 long touchdowns. Those are huge momentum swings, and it has just been don't even have words for how crazy this game has been.
Well, it is. It's been absolutely nuts. And you know, as much as North Forney has been bitten by the big play, we see in this one that it's Royse City that was bitten on the last two drives for North Forney.
Return brought out to the 26-yard line. Time now working in the favor of the Falcons. 4:12 to play in the fourth quarter. Royse City had come back from a 35-point deficit to cut it to just 4, 35-31, with a little over 7 minutes left to play. And since then, North Forney, out of nowhere, has thrown a couple of haymakers to Royse City, and the Bulldogs are once again on the ropes.
Well, I talked about this being a real test of character, and they have, at this point, they have really responded.
Nemo coming up big, wrapping up the running back in the backfield. Running back trying to slither away from it, and Nemo just held on until they blew the whistle. A loss of 3 on the play. And that was a different running back after that. Now that time it was Dylan Garner and not Petty Dozier. It's interesting not to see Petty Dozier out there at this time. I don't know if they're maybe just holding on to him for future games, or is he nicked up? Or
I think he may be injured. I saw that on his last run.
So I do see him. He is on the sideline right next to the coaches.
Yeah, he was hit pretty hard by 3 different guys, and then immediately went out to the sideline.
Oliver rolls out to his right, throws, and it is incomplete along the sideline, intended for Alphen. And that was Trey Barksdale in good coverage. So that brings up 3rd down and 12, and with the stop here, I would imagine that just about wraps it up for the Falcons, barring something absolutely asinine. Oliver in the shotgun. It's a 3rd down, money down from Sticky Ribs. They throw it complete to Petrov, setting up a screen back to the middle of the field. He will be wrapped up by a host of Falcons. About 5 yards short of the first. And I would imagine Royse City's going to go for it with really nothing to lose at this point. Closing in on 3 minutes left in the fourth. Falcons leading 49-31. Coming into this game, Royse City had a vaunted defense. Give up 12.5 points. They've given up 40. Now, this is the most they've given up all year long by far. A roll out to the left by Oliver. He's going to keep it up the middle. Fighting for a first. He's close. It depends on the spot. Yeah, it looks like he did just get the first down.
Yeah, it looked like the Falcons had a chance to stop him a yard or two short, and he just kind of spun out of a tackle and stepped forward. Petty Dozier's back in the game.
They do give him the first, much to the dismay of Falcons fans and coaches. Hand off to Dozier. Dozier up the middle. And he's going to be stopped after another first down run into Falcons territory. They'll move the chains as he gets to the 43. 2.5 minutes left in the fourth.
The good news with this is that they're keeping it on the ground, and that clock continues to run.
Yeah.
And being down by 18 points, we've seen stranger things happen with.
Oliver drops back, throws one deep down the field. Intended for Alphen. Barksdale tried to make a play on it at the last second. It falls incomplete. Brings up 2nd down and 10.
We're closing in on 2 minutes, and we've seen strange things with onside kicks, but
and we've seen strange things in this game.
That's true. You've always got such great points.
I'm very observant.
Yes, you are.
Nothing gets past me.
Right.
2 receivers split out to each side. You turn in. Nope, they're going to keep it. Oliver keeps it this time. Looking for the first. He's going to slide at the last second. He's going to slide short of the first. Of course, it's where he starts the slide. He slid into the first down marker. And started that slide about 2 yards short. Brings up 3rd and 2. It's another Sticky Ribs barbecue 3rd down, money down. Under 2 minutes to play. Hand off to Petrov up the middle. Stutters in the hole. He's able to find the first down. Down to the Falcon 29. They move the chains. Clock will momentarily stop at 1:54.
And the Falcons will take that. 3-4 yards at a time. It's that clock keeps running. It's 10-15 seconds per play, and they're just running out of time here.
Oliver drops back, fakes the throw, and he's going to take off and run now. Spins out of a tackle. It's a tough tackle to spin out of. Falcons sandwiched him. He's able to get ahead for a 5-yard gain. And Royse City takes a timeout with a minute and a half left, trailing 49-31. We'll take a step away. You're listening to North Forney Falcons football on the Goonville Radio Network.
Football season is in full swing. Elevate your game day experience with edible arrangements. Their fresh, handcrafted fruit is dipped in rich chocolate to create delicious, indulgent party platters. Visit the nearest edible location in Rockwall or call 972-771-6454. You can also check them out at edible.com. Be sure to mention the code word Goonville on your next order and receive 10% off. Let Edible help you win your next game day before it even starts.
You're listening to North Forney Falcons football on the Goonville Radio Network.
After the timeout, Royse City will trot back on the field, facing a 2nd down and 5 from the Falcons' 24-yard line, trailing 49-31. This game has been momentum swings from both sides. North Forney had the first momentum swing, going up 35-0 in the first half. And Royse City had the next momentum swing, cutting it to 35-31 before the Falcons finally enter back with 2 touchdowns. Being pressured out is Oliver, being dropped for a sack by DeMarcus Kirk. A loss of 11 on the play. And DeMarcus Kirk comes up big. Of course, he had the opening score of the night with the 53-yard interception return for a touchdown. With a minute left, Royse City not in a particular hurry. Rolling out to his right. This time he's going to tuck it and run. We got flags on the play, 2 of them.
Got to believe that's holding.
And we got another late flag along the far sideline where Trey Barksdale and Peyton Petroff were next to each other. We'll see. This looks like it's setting up to be offsetting penalties.
Yeah, it looks like he hit him out of bounds, and Coach Jackson just kind of going nuts on the sideline because had a chance to push him back a little bit more, keep the clock running, and that's the kind of mistakes that disciplined winning teams don't make.
Yeah, they pull Trey Barksdale off the sideline or off the field too. And Coach Jackson not happy with Barksdale. Barksdale comes out the field not wanting to talk to anybody. So we'll see how they work these off. So we have holding against Royse City.
Number 76. That penalty win force 10 yards for the previous spot. Then after the play.
Then we have a dead ball foul. Unsportsmanlike conduct.
That's number 4. 15 worst unsportsmanlike conduct of the game. It'll be 15 yards and an automatic first down.
So they mark off the 10 yards for holding, and then they mark back the 15 yards for the unsportsmanlike conduct and the automatic first down. I thought that those plays offset no matter what.
Well, if it's a dead ball, then it happens. Then it's considered after the play. So they go back for the hold and then move it up 15 and give them first down for the.
Well, I don't like that. I don't like that at all.
Well, I would write to the UIL.
That sounds like a lot of effort. So it'll be 1st and 10 for Royse City.
Again, that's just a dumb penalty that you don't need to take. And as a senior playing senior night, it's just one of those things that you've got to be smarter than that. They're running out of time. You don't want to give them. You don't want to give them anything.
1st and 10 from the Falcon 27. Fake the handoff, and we've got whistles and a flag just as the play starts.
I was wondering if they're going to see that. The tackle was starting to get down set when the play was started, or when the ball was snapped. So that's got to come back 5 yards for motion.
So it'll be 1st and 15 now.
Ball start on the offense, number 77. Never got set.
That's exactly it. We're saying that tackle never actually got set.
First down. This is not.
It's amazing what you see when you bring your glasses to a game.
And you would think you might bring them to a few more.
Well, half the time I bring them and I leave them in the car anyway. So
57 seconds left. Falcons leading 49-31.
Please reset the game clock for 1 minute.
Well, let me correct that. There's 1 minute left in the game as they reset the game clock. Yeah, it's nice having the refs mic'd up. Not that I really want to hear from them a whole lot, but it's good to get some clarification on things. Take the handoff. Oliver drops back. He's looking to throw back to the right. Petrov wide open. Nobody's there. Inside the 5-yard line, Petrov eludes a defender, and he's into the end zone.
Well, here
City
we go.
Royse City not going away without a fight. 52 seconds left in the game. That makes it 49-37. The Royse City offense will stay out on the field. They are going to need a touchdown and another score, even if they do complete the 2-point conversion. They would be if they get the 2, it would be 49-39. So they would still need a touchdown, an extra point, and a field goal at least to tie it. So obviously you can expect an onside kick here in a few moments. Oliver rolls out to his right, and he's going to look for the corner of the end zone. Dives. Did he get it? Ooh, that was close, but they're going to give it to him. Stumbled before he started to actually dive. 2-point conversion is good. It's 49-39. Falcons on top. You're listening to North Forney Falcons football here on the Goonville Radio Network.
Hey Falcons fans, are you looking for a local streamlined real estate experience? I'm John O'Finkenbeiner with Exalt Realty, and in my 12 years in real estate, I have perfected the art of keeping the process of buying and selling simple and easy. Whether it's a buyer's or a seller's market or somewhere in between, make sure you call me, John O'Finkenbeiner, where real estate is made easy at 469-556-8392. Go Falcons!
Sticky Ribs Barbecue is a family-owned business located in Forney, Texas. We have all of your favorite smoked meats complemented with homemade sides. Take a bite of our mouth-watering barbecue, slow-smoked to perfection over Texas post oak on traditional barbecue pits. We offer full-service catering for any size event. Visit us at stickyribsbarbecue.com or on our Facebook page. That's Sticky with no C and Ribs with a Z. Contact us today and see what you've been missing. Sticky Ribs Barbecue. Get addicted. Your go-to for barbecue. You're listening to North Forney Falcons football on the Goonville Radio Network.
Royse City getting set up for the onside kick. It'll be Peyton Petrov looking to onside kick it instead of the normal kicker, Anthony Ortiz. 52 seconds left. North Forney up 49-39. So Royse City would need to convert this onside kick, score a touchdown, convert another onside kick, and get a field goal. Not necessarily in that order. Petrov setting the onside kick up. It's going to bounce and right into the lap. It looks like Donovan Holt at the 47-yard line. And the Falcons, I don't think they could take enough knees. Royse City, I believe, has 2 timeouts left, so they might have to actually run a couple of plays here. I can guarantee they're not going to pass the ball.
Right.
This would be the time you run no matter what. This is a really weird. You could not have convinced me that there was going to be a game this year where Ty Collins would be a complete non-factor. And it's not so much of what anything he's done or not done. Anytime he has had the carries, that Royse City has been all over it. But North Forney smartly enough recognized that just wasn't going to win the game tonight. They haven't really used him. They try to go quick and hand it off to Collins. Collins with his biggest run of the night near a first down marker, and he's got it all by himself. Pushing, I say all by himself. He had the hole there. It was perfectly blocked. And then Collins able to push the rest of the way through for a first down, and that should be enough to take a couple of knees and get out of this one. And in fact, it looks like that's what they're going to do is get in the victory formation, but not before Royse City does call a timeout.
Yeah, and I'll tell you that is exactly what the Falcons needed right there. That's probably Collins' biggest run of the night right there, and it came at the biggest time. So
that's what's funny. Collins hasn't had his number called, but at no point have you seen him get frustrated or make a big deal out of it. What does he do when they need him to make the play? He goes out there and gets the first down to ice it. That right there is that's a class act right there. That Ty Collins.
Yeah, and he's just been such a workhorse, and it's easy to get down when you've been the dude all season, or the second half of the season, to have your to not have the success,
Well,
again,
and for the coaches to say, hey, we're not going to win with you tonight. We're going to win this other way. That's how we're going to win this game.
Right.
I think a lot of guys that didn't have that character would say they would get offended by that or get upset.
Yeah.
Not Collins.
No.
And so the victory formation comes out for North Forney. With just 43 seconds left, 1st and 10 in Royse City territory. Kuna takes a knee.
Well, it's time for me to do my Goon Dad duty, so I'm going to head down to the field and also get some interviews with the coaches. But it's been a pleasure. And
Well, I'm going to try to catch up with you before I leave here, so don't go too quick. Like, don't get out of here too
Right.
quick.
Okay. Yeah, I'll catch up with you, and look forward to being on the pregame show next week.
Hey, I appreciate it, man. Look
right.
forward to it next week.
Thanks.
That's Tim Danziger. Of course, you can catch him in his articles every Thursday in the Forney Messenger. He's going to head down to the field and take pictures with his Goon kids, talk to the coaches, get some interview material for that. And that will bring us to the end of the game. Final score from Citibank Stadium is the Falcons 49, Royse City 39. The Falcons do their part. They win tonight against Royse City, stay alive in the playoff hunt. Unfortunately, Goonville did win tonight against Forney, and so that means that next week we will be rooting for the Terrell Tigers to beat these same Royse City Bulldogs. North Forney, 480 yards of offense, 307 passing, 173 on the ground. The star of the show tonight, not Ty Collins, as you might have expected coming into this game, but Jacob Acuna. 18 of 26, 307 yards, 3 touchdowns through the air, but that's not it. 12 carries, 159 yards, 3 more touchdowns on the ground. That is Colby Suits-esque, if I might say myself. On the other side, Tyson Oliver, 14 of 27, 139 yards, 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions. Amon Petty-Dozier did his part for Royse City tonight. 33 carries, 305 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Peyton Petroff also with 21 carries for 97 yards. Receiving for North Forney, Nick Boo, 9 catches, 135 yards, 2 touchdowns. Cam Allen, man, what a performance he had. Only 3 catches, but 122 yards in the big touchdown that kind of sealed the game for North Forney. DeJuan Johnson, 3 catches, 31 yards. Colin Shipley, 1 for 10, and Ty Collins, 2 for 9. Collins only 8 carries for 14 yards, no touchdowns in tonight's game, but he did have the big first down run to seal the deal at the end of the game. North Forney will go to Sulphur Springs next week. And again, they got to win to stay alive and get some help from some other teams to be able to make playoffs. But again, they did their part tonight. And it was a game for the ages as North Forney jumped out to a 35-0 lead in the first half, only for Royse City to come back midway through the third and make it 35-31 before North Forney scored a couple of big touchdowns late and got an interception from Jacob Donaldson to seal the deal. The final score, once again, from Citibank Stadium, it's the Falcons 49 and the Bulldogs 39. Until next week, for Tim, for Ayanna, I'm Wally. Go Falcons.